Mama. Ah.
Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest. Possibly keep the simori. Tell me only for us, oh yeah. Someone like that, my name to defend our unity, uphold our honor and glory. Possibly keep the simori. Tell me only for us, oh yeah. Someone like that, my name.
A very good afternoon to everyone, a very good evening, a very good morning, a very good night to everyone watching this program. First of all, I want to say I'm very sorry for starting late. It is very late. Unfortunately, we did everything possible in the whole world, but we couldn't resolve it. We have a little bit of some computer glitch. Thank God, I'm the one that built my PC myself. I'm the one that know the inside and the outside of the PC, so I was able to open it quickly and go into the intestine of those PC and get it working again. Once again, welcome to the show again today. It's lovely having you guys around here like you've always been supporting. Without you, there's no us. And what can we say apart from keep thanking you for sticking by us, for staying with us and watching the program with us. Tonight, we have some few things we want to go through. I'm expecting one of our professors from Nigeria to speak to us as well. He's having a lot of problems. He's an 80-year-old man and he's very, very good with PC. And the problem is his PC just decided not to work today. And the man is fighting tooth and nail to get it on. So as soon as he get it on, he's going to join us. Today, I have some few people with me online. Like I always do, I'm not going to introduce them. They're going to have to introduce themselves. But let's start from every day I do this, isn't it? Right and left. Yeah. So I'm going to say from left now. So let's start from left. And we're going to go left, down, and then when daddy comes, we're going to go back up there. First of all, I want to introduce Frank Bello. He doesn't need any introduction anyway. So let him say a couple of words. Frank.
Yes, hi guys. Good evening once again. We are back on Heritage TV tonight. I won't say we screw up things. We look into issue, we dig deep, we uproot, and we speak it as it is, but in speaking the truth, truth hurts. And we are here to tell the whole world truth, but nothing but the truth. Remember, truth is constant. Over to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Frank Bello. Thank you very much. I have this gentleman. I could see his face. He's probably angry already. I don't know why he's angry today. And the good thing is that maybe he bought some light over the weekend because his face looks a little bit brighter than normal. Can you introduce yourself, please, and let's go for it. Uncle Fatai, introduce yourself, please.
Oh yes, sorry, I just carried away just a bit. My yes, my name is Fatai Ogunredido, and a passionate advocate of Yoruba Nation, the Oduduwa Republic, which I think by God's grace very soon will take its own destiny from those that are enslaved in for a very long time. So hopefully tonight we are going to make another progress. So it's telling our people, are telling them the truth about the Yoruba Nation and what it has lost in the past 60 years.
Okay. He said, hopefully. He's not sure. He just said, hopefully. Maybe we're going to...
by God's grace.
maybe we're going to make some progress. I have a little bit of problem. We waited all this time for this young man, a battle right, left, center, and then when we started, the system became unresponsive. But what can we do? There's nothing we can do about that. But the good thing is that he won't hurt me, he won't stop me from doing what I know how to do best. Because, like I said, I am very good at what I do to the glory of God, and it won't take me any point in saying the man is not going to be here. Even if he's not here, we will still hear from him. So I'm going to try and call him and see whether we can get him online. And we're going to try and fluctuate between two people. Okay, Mr. Shegun, you are on. Could you introduce yourself to our audience, please?
All right, good evening. My name is Shegun Bio. I'm an on-air personality. An activist, a media strategist, and I live in Nigeria.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. That's the young man there. Don't worry. Technology doesn't want to work. We make it work by force, by fire. It's a waste of time. The only thing I don't know is I don't know whether Mr. Shegun will be able to hear me properly because, okay, let me try and do this, yeah? Because you know what I said to you guys? There's always a way out. When there's a way, there's always when there's a will, there's always a way. And even this one doesn't want to work again. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it has to work by fire, by force. That is the only thing I could say to this system here today. Okay, I'm going to try and manipulate it from one side of the world to the other side of the world to make sure that we can get to where we're going. So, without much to do, without wasting any of your time again, especially because you've been waiting too long for this, let me go back to the studio. I might probably be able to bring Daddy on the phone as well because I really want this man to participate because of the amount of experience he has, so that he can actually show us things and teach us some few things in the line of what we are going to do today. First of all, I lost this gentleman that's on the phone. I lost it. Even the phone was lying. Okay, because of the echoing, I'm going to do this one back. Okay, let's go for it. The little string holding Nigeria from... you know, when you watch some film, some action film, some American action film, and there's been some few bad terrain along the line, and bad road, and bad circumstances, bad thing happening all along the road. And it gets to a stage, the main actor is in the bus that wants to go in the ditch. And someone is actually using maybe a belt to hold him up and trying to drag him out. So, but unfortunately, what's going to happen is that everybody has to go their own way because it has gotten to that stage that the center cannot hold him in. Let's go to Frank Bello and let him open the floor for us today. Frank, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. The little string holding Nigeria from disintegrating. That little string, could it be a jinx? The string could either be a jinx or a hex. What is a jinx? What is a hex? Jinx is a curse hanging on Nigeria. The same thing is hex. But both hex and the jinx that is hanging on Nigeria, who's got the audacity? Who's got the and who's got the stamina and the stability to uncross the jinx or the hex? Don't forget, we're talking about the little string. How do you tie a string or something? You tie a string to a weight at the bottom and you hold the string with your hand and the weight is underneath. So who is that person, or who are those people, or the collector of people that are holding Nigeria, or who must have cursed the nation? Could the hex or the jinx be the innocent souls that's been killed, begging high in heaven for a revenge on location 9? Or could it be the bad governance that we've had over the last 60 years, starting all the way from independence to date? Can that be the reason? Or could the hex or the jinx be attributed to some of your leaders? And if so, what sort of areas are we looking at? Are we looking at leaders that are fetish? Are we looking at leaders that believed very strongly and passionately in occultic practice? Are we looking at leaders killed day-old babies for rituals and used their blood for sacrifices because they want to hold on to power? Are we looking at other issues that is spiritually hovering over that nation? Or are we looking at the Almighty Creator himself, who is not happy, and he cursed a land he created to flourish and to become one of the greatest nations around the world, knowing fully well that the southern part of the country are well endowed? So we have to look at those strings, and we have to treat the string, the little string holding that country from disintegrating, as those ruthless cabals who had engaged in many atrocities and ferocious killings in the country. I'll hand over back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Frank Bello. The only thing I don't understand is why were people want to kill others just to hold on to power? Why would people want to use human blood, both in the north, in the south, in the west, in the east, everywhere in Nigeria, to get this? But that's not where we're going to. We want to look at the reason why this string is not breaking easily. So I'm going to go to Fatai Ogunbido to tell us, is there any reason why this divorce is not happening soon? Is there any reason why someone wants to hold the other one, the missus want to hold the husband to ransom, or the husband want to hold the missus to ransom? When the marriage is not working, it's not working, especially when it's a marriage of convenience, like so many people will call it. Fatai, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Moderator. Actually, I share part of Frank's points as regards the desperation by some few who want to stay in power forever. But we have to really go back to the real foundation of the problem, because we are talking about the little string that's holding Nigeria from being disintegrated. Realistically speaking, let us look at the foundation of Nigeria. Why was Nigeria created? We remember the genesis of the entire problem, which has to do with how the Royal Niger Company sold, which used to be a European or British sort of colony for trading, like a big organization holding sway to that control of the area as the economic resource. How it sold that little benefit that it was having then to the British government for a sum of £65,000 then. And then how we actually come in history to learn that eventually both the North and the South were merged in an amalgamation which happened in 1914 and which expired in 2014. And what was the reason for this amalgamation? The amalgamation was done so that the British colony, which it was then, should be able to carry on with their trade and benefit from that area of the world that was producing milk and honey for them. And that is the reason why up to today, the problem we have in Nigeria has got nothing to do with the Hausa Fulani monopoly of power, or Hausa Fulani purported neglect of the southern part of the country. It has got to do with the powerful trying to sponsor the weak link in that sort of contraption, so that weak link will be used against the rest. So that why giving them the power, the ammunition to hold on to power, and consolidating that power and controlling our brain and our destiny, and holding on to that power and making sure that they benefit from it. And their sponsors, who happens to be the Europeans, those that stay aloof, pretending as if they know nothing about what is happening. These are the ones that are raking the benefit of this entrapment, which we are as South Nigerians. So the foundation of Nigeria was based on economic advantage that will serve the benefit and that will serve as lifeblood of the Europeans. And this is what we are still witnessing today. We are talking about the little strings that is holding Nigeria from this integration. If there is no any support from these foreign predators who have given this Hausa Fulani power, especially forcing them into power so that they can use most resources to bribe them, so that they can look away as if nothing is happening in Nigeria, I know that without the backing of this, I mean, you know how strong we are as Yoruba race. I mean, going into history, no war has ever been fought that will say that the Yoruba race lost in those old days. So we are very strong, but the problem is the forces that we are facing currently is a sort of international conspiracy. You see the weak link in the country, those that they see has not been eye-opened, giving them power to suppress the ambition, the will, the intention, the dream of that part of the country that is so enlightened, exposed, resourceful, and this is where we are today. So that string that is holding us together up to today is the powerful people outside of Nigeria who are trying to use the others as stooges, getting from the economic advantage and giving the few of them power so that at least they can hold on forever. But the time has now come, because we have for 60 years, we have given Nigeria the opportunity to grow, to rise, to be great. But we just realized that it's like one is just wasting his time. And when we are talking about the strings, the little string holds us together right now. The desperation of this Hausa Fulani to stay in power, and the desperation of those using them as stooges to be able not to let go, simply because they know what Nigeria is their lifeblood, and they know what they are doing, destroying Nigerians so that at least their own life is bettered. This is the fact of the case, and that if that string is broken, and we can lobby these Europeans so that we can let them understand the tragedy that they have caused us as South Nigerians. If we can hold on and make sure that we put our messages across plausibly, and making every part of the world to understand that the way we are in South Nigeria is not the way we should be, and we can articulate our problems to the entire world, how we are being. For instance, when you look at the way EU is treating Nigeria, they pretend that nothing is happening. Many of them, they look at Northern Nigeria as the only Nigeria. They don't look at us in the South as being in existence. So this is the reason why. But as the discussions goes on, I'll be enlightening more on this point.
Thank you, Fatai. I really appreciate your contribution there. What we want to actually scrutinize there mostly is why the Northerners does not want the Southerners to go. If it's not working, stay in your land.
Well, that is very true. That is why I said, as time goes on, I will be highlighting more points regarding this. They didn't want the South to let go. They didn't want to let go the South Nigeria because that is the life wire of the benefit that they are getting from Nigeria. Nigeria is not real, and as I'm talking to you today, the North has got no interest in Nigeria at all. The interest the North has in Nigeria is both the oil and the port authority that is in Lagos. I mean, these are the two strings that actually binds the North and the South together. And that's the reason why we exist in the South as geographically owning the port, but they are the one that is actually controlling it. They are since the existence of the Nigeria Port Authority. Have you ever witnessed any Yoruba man being made the Minister for Internal Affairs? Until lately, when Arabesha who wants to be used for the purpose of the Aruga and other things, they know how they play their game until he comes as Minister for Internal Affairs. There has never been a Southerner that has been made to actually, control the Nigerian Port Authority. And there has never been a time when a typical Southerner, be it Igbo or be it Yoruba, has been made to be the director of customs in Nigeria. Because this is the reason why most of the posts that they occupy are the posts that they use to control these ports. And then that's number one. Number two, we are talking about the Niger Delta resources, the black gold there, the oil. So these are the interests that they have. Without these two things that they are deriving benefit from southern part of Nigeria, the North has got no interest in that contraption called Nigeria at all. So both the benefit that comes from Niger Delta and the trillions of pounds and dollars that come from Nigerian Port Authority every year, because Nigerian Port Authority, they serve many of their kinsmen in Chad, Niger, and other Fulani nations of top of Nigeria, but Nigeria in the north. And that's the reason why most of the time France is playing a very big role in making sure that they give them support. Because I mean, one of these things being done are not just being done singularly; they are being done with the connivance of all these big nations pretending as if they don't see the tragedy that is befalling southern Nigeria. So we have to be realistic about this. The strings are the fact that the Europeans use Nigeria as their lifeblood, and then the North being the major control of the economy of Nigeria, which they derive from the oil as well as Nigeria Port Authority that give them trillions of dollars and pounds every year. So these are the problems that we are having. To disengage them from this, it needs some tactical involvement.
Hello, thank you very much for that, Mr. Okuribido. I really appreciate that. The good thing about it all is that nearly everybody know what the problem is. But
yes,
people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to see it. Frank, what again is making this thing not to break?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Mr. Okuribido emphasized that the European Union sees southern Nigeria as nothing, but they look at the caliphate as some people they could do business with. Now, I was listening earlier on to a show on the same agitation for the Oduduwa Republic, and I listened to the arguments put forward by some of the people in that platform. What a lot of people fail to realize is that they want to forget about your history and what went wrong, but they are looking for a quick fix solution to the current dilemma that we found ourselves. Now, such people, they don't realize the fact that for you to find a permanent solution to that problem now would provide you with opportunity on how you're going to take tomorrow and the day after tomorrow and then years to come. Why did the Europeans and especially the British found solace in the Hausa Fulani people. The Europeans and the British, number one, considered the Hausa Fulani people as people that they can do business with because number one, they're very trustworthy. They will not lie. They are not as polluted as those in the South. Look, let us call a spade a spade. The Southerners polluted the Northerners because we are just basically too smart. We're educated. We will not tolerate, the Southerners will not tolerate the nonsense from the Europeans and the British, the way the Northerners will succumb to their wishes because the Southerners knows they are right. And that was why before independence, the British that molded through Lord Lugard fraudulently at 3 different nations in terms of its region together created one of the biggest fraud on earth because they know too well that the people in the South are corrupted.
Wow. I'm going to stop you there because the man that really inspired me to this program has finally made it after so many times. This is the man I talk about. This man is an 80-year-old man. He has to reinstall Chrome onto his system because the internet in Nigeria was so awful today, very bad. Even after that, look at that, it's frozen again. Daddy, if you can hear me, now the man is here, but unfortunately, his voice is not here. Wow. Anyway, you can see what we've gone through to get here today. The other man from Nigeria as well gets there. They froze him up. Frank, continue, please.
Yes. So now we are now beginning to see a situation that because we are not particularly pretty straightforward with ourselves in the South, and because the white people that saw how clearly the Hausa Fulani people are trustworthy as opposed to the Southerners that will kill, they will maim, they will kill their own children for rituals, for anything, just to maintain money and power. The white people are not stupid. Had it mean we were genuinely sincere in our deeds and in our behaviors, perhaps the white man should have negotiated us and then say to us, okay, you guys are well learned, you are well read, you are more like the English, okay, let's give you that opportunity. But it was not so. Rather than unite the way the Northerners united amongst themselves, the Southerners were truncating each other, they were biting each other, they were throwing mud at each other, they were trying to disgrace them, they were disgracing themselves in their assemblies. Have we forgotten Operation Wetier? Have we forgotten the way the Northerners, in collaboration with Zeke, destroyed everything in the West? Have we forgotten the way the Midwest was created? Because the North, the MPC, the Northern People's Congress, and the NCNC wanted to weaken the power of the West, as we gathered yesterday, and we know when the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo introduced a free education in the West to educate the Yoruba people, to which the Midwest decided, oh, rather than go with East, let them come to the West where there was free education. So when we begin to look at all these past events, and that's exactly why we are here in this forum, because we have to examine the wrongs of the past, study them very carefully, look at what they've done wrong, and then begin to take steps to correct them. Mr. Ogulibido said the oil in the south, our port authority has been taken over, it's been hijacked. Why was that? Because the resources and the power is based in the south, and the Europeans and the British knew for a fact that that is the lifeblood.
I'm going to stop you there again because they've just released this man from jail as well, Nigerian jail, Nigeria internet jail. Mr. Shegun, your system finally come back up. Thank God for that.
You at the studio.
Oh, well.
Let me get you to put some few things in before it disappear again. Yeah, the string holding Nigeria together, the incentive holding it together. Who is the benefiting? The south, the west, the east. Who is this string benefiting? The incentive that people are acting onto, the incentive that people are holding rigorously to make sure it doesn't break. Who is it benefiting?
Okay, well, you're talking about the string holding Nigeria together, right?
Yeah.
If I get you clear.
Yes. Who is this string benefiting?
In one word, the North.
Explain it to us more. Enlighten us. People that doesn't know. People that think we're doing nonsense here.
Okay.
Enlighten us.
Okay. Well, the kind of situation we're in, where let us just take one of the sectors everybody can relate with, from the presidency down to the least important person in government. The positions are occupied if the position is not occupied by a northerner, the person who is actually there is planted there by a northerner and is a northern stooge, either we like it or not. We were arguing some days back, and we are talking about the person of Femi Gbajabiamila, and I keep saying to people, whatever you see, whatever agenda you see him push is not a southern agenda. It represents the north. He was put there. It wasn't like the people wanted him to be there. That is there. He is there to represent an interest. The VP is also there, who is inconsequential. A lot of people asking, where is the VP? Where is the VP? Is he under some kind of lockdown and all that? So, if you look even into the security sector, who does it favor? Somebody was throwing a joke around the other time and said that usually when they have a security meeting, they throw Sibajo out because the meeting, even if he's seated there, he doesn't understand what they say because they eventually speak Hausa, and the man may not be able to relate with whatever it is that they're saying. So he's just there, sitting there like a stooge, and whatever it is that they're discussing. So the country as a whole, as it is set up, favors the North. We were not born when independence was given, but we were told that part of the deal was to give what do they call it now? Political power to the North, and give economical power to the South. But unfortunately, the South decided that well, we have economic power, and decided to sabotage themselves and create a lot of problems for themselves. And at the end of the day, instead of helping themselves to become better and at least establish that, look, we can do these things and we can do it differently. Unfortunately, they chose a wrong path, which is a part of betrayal. In '79, we all know what happened to late Chief Obafemi Awolowo and his election against Shagari. We all knew what happened during Abiola, where some of the people who are the people selling change to us now were the same people who were shouting then that on June 12th we die. But we know what they eventually did with the government of Abacha. They worked for the government, served in the government, and told us that the country must continue. They keep telling you they have a plan. The plan is for the Southwest to be able to position itself to take power. What exactly are we doing? What exactly are we doing? Are we slaves? Are we partners? Do we own this country as a people? Those are the questions. Those are the critical questions we need to ask ourselves. If you go to any of these offices these days and you're trying to speak with the head, you find that the person who is the head there is a northerner. And if you don't speak his language or you don't practice his religion, you're thrown out. Whatever it is that you're bringing is something that is going to bring you money. It takes his money, and at the end of the day, you're on your own. So I would say, in conclusion, that this whole setup favors the North. It favors the North because the South apparently lost the key and lost track of what they're supposed to do. And as long as they don't come together and unite, it's going to be very difficult for them to continue. All of this shout about creating an Odua state. One of us is still going to march there and truncate it and take us to court. I'm sure something, because they did it during June 12th. They looked for a southerner who was willing to be the tool to truncate one of the fiercest elections ever in the history of this country. So I would say what is holding this country together, one is God, and I don't know how he's doing the miracle, but the people who are benefiting from it certainly is the North. 90% is the North. Every other person who is benefiting from the outside are benefiting for their own pockets, not necessarily for their own region.
I don't know what to say. I think this man is the first man that speaks the truth. Frank has been hiding under one finger since. And Fatai has been getting angry unnecessarily without telling us the truth. The Southerner supposed to put us in a power position economically, but they were not doing it because instead of doing it for everybody, they were doing it for their own pocket. And you guys have been here all this time, but none of you mentioned that to me. This is the first man that's doing it. So if they are enriching
that's why we've got varieties in the pool of people on heritage.
Okay, it's okay. That's true. That is very true. That's why we fight from right and left to make sure we get different kind of people, different breed of people. I have a gentleman that it's not a gentleman. It's a daddy. It's a granddaddy. It's a great granddaddy that's supposed to be on the program today, but same thing happens to what happens to you earlier on. The man gets frozen out for one reason or the other, but the man is still adamant. The daddy is still adamant that he's still going to come back, no matter what happens.
Yes,
the man has to go and reinstall Chrome. He has to go and update all his Windows service pack to get onto the program today.
Wow.
But it still didn't work.
Wow.
But the good thing is that he only showed briefly, and then the whole thing got kaput again. This is what we're getting in Nigeria. This is a service we're getting in Nigeria, which is not very good. Frank, are you ashamed of yourself by not pointing that the Southerner have been so corrupt to the extent that they will sell their own mother to the Northerners for money? Frank,
I think I'm ashamed. I'm terribly ashamed of myself as a Southerner, because we know for a fact, and everybody who is enlightened in southern part of Nigeria, not only in Yoruba land, but across the entire South. Don't forget, let's go back to history. Across on the eastern side, twins were being slaughtered in Calabar. A white woman stopped it because they considered twins as abomination. Now, it's the same thing in our place. So, as a Southerner, to be very honest with you, I think it is something that we all should bury our head in shame, because we are simply noted for that. And the white people, the British, they know of all those activities. And how do you really expect them to respect us when they know for a fact that these bad habits exist in the South? Do you want them to really respect us when, as a matter of fact, 60 years after independence, the same nation, despite the fact that they've divided that country from 3 regions into 4 regions, from 4 regions into 12 states, from 12 states into 19 states, 19 states into 36 states plus the Federal Capital Territory, and 60 years, we're still singing the same old song, and there's nothing new in our hymn sheet. I'm very sad that I'm a southerner. Sometimes, perhaps, if I meet houses, I'm sad to have to say that, oh, I'm a southerner. And you see them and they said, oh, you guys, you enjoyed your own quota system, you were educated. Now the resources from the same south, we now find ourselves in a terrible mess that some vagabond, our mates, are even assisting the northerners to develop their own region. Why they should develop region? Gold is found in the north, uranium is found in the north. Have you ever seen any southerner trespassing onto their gold in the north? No, but they are telling us that they've already hijacked our seaport, they've already hacked our resources, our taxations, everything, and they're giving them to the north. So I am ashamed. Over to you in the studio.
Thank you for your contribution. I want to say, Ogushi Martins, well, welcome to the house. Yeah, you don't know who invited you, but someone invited you, and you get here enjoying. I'm glad you are enjoying in the show. Yeah, why not contribute your quota? The line will be open very soon, and we can talk about it more. One thing I know for sure is that until we start working, because like Mr. Shegun said, that if care is not taken, these are the doer thing that they're making noise about might not materialize, because one of us will probably go to court and defend it and be the judge or the lawyer that will defend them. Remember, 2/3 of 19 states.
That is part. Yes, Mr. Moderator, that is part of the little string holding that piece of location 9 to ransom, because everything about that country is just like that. The string is there. They will use the Hausa Fulanis. They will not come from the north. They will use your own people. That is how corrupted that we are in the south. They will use them. It's going to happen. But whether this will surface or the southerner will come out to support them, to say, why are you challenging them? Why should we break? I wait to see that. And I think we will cross that line when we reach that area. Over to you in the studio.
That Fatai has been rocking his seat back and front. Maybe are you angry, Fatai? Are you cross with the system?
Yes, I'm very, very angry because we have to actually understand the life as it's running. Let's go back to prior to the history of the Yorubas, the Western Nigeria prior to 1960. Even beyond 1960, even up to 1979 election, which ran through to 83, 84. Let us look at what applied politically in southwest of Nigeria. Now let us now consider what are the factors that has made the southern Nigerians to be what they are today. And we are so well endowed as a people to be good leaders, to lay good examples. We preserve the name of our family. Anywhere we go across the world, what comes to your mind first is the name of your family that don't want the entire world to see as being negative. So let us go back to history. How did we organize a better state far back to mid-50s, prior to our independence? How come in 1979 election, running through 1983, 84, how come the southwest states were models for other regions? Let us remember what happened then when many the Mbakwe's, the Remins, when they were looking at the southwest governors as model governors, and they now formed progressives, and they wanted to actually emulate what Jakande did in Lagos State, what Ajax was doing in Ondo State, what Ambrose Ali was doing in Bede State. These are the people that we call the true state of the Yoruba nation. So let us now come back to see what has made us to be so degenerating. And the factors are this. Number one, those in every society there are bad elements. That is for sure. And people who has made us to be their slaves, they studied us and used the same tactics that the Europeans used to subdue South Nigeria, putting them under the feet of Northern Nigeria. The same tactics is what the Northerners are using today, putting the lower people under, over those who are well endowed to be leaders in our region. We didn't just imagine one day to be behaving the way we are behaving. Desperation for survival, identity that has hanged over Yoruba land. So many. I'm not justifying that people should be bad, but let us consider what are the factors that has made our people to be bad. In every society, in every tribe, there are bad elements. So for us now to be portrayed as if we are a league of irresponsible people, or that we don't know what is right, no, it's a priority point being misplaced, and I wouldn't share that. We know what Yoruba stands for, and we have. That's the reason why across the world today, those who are making waves in everything, in technology, in law, in economics, in IT, they are the Southwesterners, and the education they had was far back in Nigeria. So we are capable as a people to lead in a society, and we are demonstrating that across the world. So for us to be portrayed as if we believe in voodoo or we are bad as a people, I won't share that, because that is not our trait. That is not the way we are as Southwesterners. We are people that are always ambitious. We have commerce as our big point. We are well educated. We are well read. We love business. We love enterprising. So this is the way we are, and that's the reason why, if those traits that are being painted is the way we are, it's going to show that people who are pressing us down are going to be justified as if this is the reason why we are being treated the way we are being treated. But no, we are not like that. The Yoruba man, you see, in every aspect of life, wants to be a good leader, wants to preserve the name of his family. We've never, prior to the aftermath of the 79 election, we have never been like this. If you are going on the road, you see blood on the street, you pick it because you see blood. So right now, human life is nothing to us, because we have been so driven to that level of life. And this is the reason why we need to hijack our destiny and portray a better future for ourselves. Otherwise, in future, we are going to be caused by coming generations. Time is now for us to go back to where we are coming from and reestablish ourselves. All those cultures, all those norms that guide us as Omoluabis, we have to go back to those traits, not looking at our bad side and telling the world as if we are not capable of ruling ourselves. So that's why I'm a bit shocked.
I really appreciate that. But you said you're not ashamed that there's always a bad element in every society. Accepted, right? But we are supposed to be educated among the Nigerians alike. Because we're educated, we're supposed to be able to put a structure that will work in Nigeria.
But have we ever been given the opportunity to put a structure across?
Can I say
where we don't even know?
Don't we have? We have some chances. Jonathan was there. Obasanjo was there. We have some chances.
Yeah.
Let us be realistic. Even when Jonathan and Obasanjo were in government, were they in full control? Those who are holding our destiny were still controlling the defense.
Saraki was in the house for how long?
That is very true. Let me tell you something. Go to the history of those who are leading us. Are they the type of people that should be leading us as a country? Because those who are calling the shots, they know how to unpick all these riffraffs who are leading us as a nation. The right people are not being chosen for the right causes. This is the reason why we are like this. We are not as bad. But it is like the case of somebody who wants to be a leader. Because you're a leader, now you can call the shots. You see competent people to put in places, but because you think they're clever, they won't allow you to have your chances. Then you go to pick the lowest of the low, the low. So this is what is happening in Nigeria. We are not, you know what we are worth in the entire world. So the reason why this is happening is because those who are are stepping on our knee, they are not giving those people who are right for the society the opportunity to take the baton of leadership. This is the it is calculated. It's a calculated. It's a conspired move to make sure that all those that are competent are being suppressed and subdued. This we have gone through this for a very long time. We have so many rascals. We have so many riffraffs who are being pushed to government because they are empowered financially and they are empowered with positions. And the greatest weapon in this world is money. Even when you have the best education, but you haven't got the money to put yourself forward, eventually you become an entity. So we have so many of our leaders who are well educated, who are well exposed, who can do better for us. They'll be they've been so pushed to a level of depression because no life for them. They are being humiliated, they are being subdued, and we are wasting our talents. And this is why we say, as Yoruba race, we just need to hold the baton now and create a world for ourselves, so that all these people that are stars now in the eyes of those who don't understand, they are by the time Yoruba nation takes course, I am telling you, the entire world are going as a model in governance. That is what I know, because the Yoruba race, we are leader in every aspect of life.
We are leaders in every aspect of life. We are leaders in property 419. We are leaders in money ritual. We are leaders in investment. We're leaders.
Let us go back to what has caused us to be all this. What has brought us all these traits?
Can I say
what has brought us all these traits?
Why today are flourishing in the north? Because the people there are not embezzling money only for themselves. They have to feed all these people. In the southern, are these people who embezzle our money, are they feeding us? Frank Bello.
These people who I'm just reading somebody's comment here who says in Nigeria of today, before a southerner becomes a governor, he must go to Sokoto and kneel before the Fulani cabals. Well, whether that is true or not is challengeable. But those who embezzled our money in the south, what have they done with that money? They know themselves. I don't have to mention any name. Those who stole both in the southwest and in the southeast, we know them. We don't have to go through their list. Had they used those resources, spent those resources well on their own people, create opportunities, create employment, give the people they govern better lives, but they did not. They loot that country dry, and obviously, because, for instance, 20 years is a long time. 20 odd years, 1999 to 2019, long time for Nigeria to build a paradise of their own. The money, the resources that country realized from that moment, 1999 to 2019, you will be scared. But what happened? It ended up in private pockets. Okay, people are saying we shouldn't go back into our history. Well, okay, let us forget exactly what happened between 1960 and 1999. A fresh start in 1999. How old are those children born in 1999? Today, they are 2021. What have they done, those leaders, to prepare those generation of Nigerians that were born 21 years ago for employment today? What have they done? Nothing. The money only ended up in their individual pockets. So how do you expect development to come into your region when everybody, as a matter of fact, are only greedy and they only think about their own individual pockets and nothing else? That is the problem. That is the biggest problem. But for that reason, that is another biggest problem. Now, I was privileged And in 1999, the North appeased Yorubas, the Southwest, because of Abiola and the June 12 saga. The man that took that control in 1999 was equally a Yoruba man. I wasn't really a fan of this same man. And as a matter of fact, I campaigned ruthlessly to make sure that why must he be that same man? Because that same man that Babangida rooted to come back, to come and sort the mess that he created through the military order that he gave to Babangida, not to hand over power to a womanizer, but rather selected his own childhood friend to take over a fraudulent interim national government, to head that government, and only for Abacha to strike a few months along the line to take over power, to take power back. The same people that marauded themselves as Nadeko people, where are they? They went there. They convinced MKO Abiola, despite the fact that I wasn't really a fan of his as well, because he was one of those people that equally plunged that country into the 60 years of misery. You want to know more about that little string that is holding Nigeria from disintegrating? It is the 60 years of misery, because those leaders, they are united up there. They said it, they are united, and that they can never see Nigeria disintegrate in their own eyes. I'll hand over back to you in the studios, and we'll take it back. I'll take it when that time arrives.
Okay, I'm so surprised seeing my brother here, Emmanuel Olanrewaju Ademosun. I'm so surprised in watching and writing so much comments. When we were growing up, things were still working in Nigeria in the 60s, in the 70s. Things were still working to a certain level. Things started going very bad. Who was in power in 1982? When they did start devaluing the money, the currency, when things started getting bad, because they devalued the money, so any money you have, you will give you more abroad. This is the problem. And the structure was not put properly in place. Because if the structure was properly in place, the structure should be, the judiciary should be free from the politics. But they never do that. They join politics and judiciary together. Mr. Shegun, you are part of this system. You must have witnessed so many things about how politics and judiciary were playing boyfriend and girlfriend.
I think, Mr. Moderator.
Yeah.
I think, Mr. Moderator, I think that devaluation was in, I think it was in 1986, if I may correct that. I think there was a clip. I think it was in 1986 when I think it was in 1986 when Audu Ogbe came online.
Yeah.
And they devalued our currency. I think it was 1986.
Okay. And it is after that devaluation that makes things worse. Because I remember sometimes ago when you're coming to the United Kingdom, you only need a BTA 495 naira. That's the money you're going to bring to England. You bring naira. In the late 80s, when you get to South Kensington, you buy things, you pay naira. You don't pay pounds.
Yeah.
They even beg you to pay in naira. Don't you have naira? And these are the problems we cause for ourselves. We cause this problem for ourselves. We put ourselves in this mess, either because we follow what is wrong. We follow the wrong course. We follow the wrong road. We follow the things we're not supposed to follow. Because if we follow, can I say something before I continue? If you are a traitor on this platform today, I give you 2 minutes to leave. If you don't leave, I'm going to tell you something that will be dwelling in your life for the rest of your life. So, if you are a traitor here now, you need to leave now. I'm telling you the truth. You can take it, you can leave it. If you're a traitor on this platform now and you're not living, Omori Odoki read the joko, and then you only read the joke for the rest of your life. Okay. The way we do things in Nigeria, this is our way of life. This is the kind of clothes we wear. This is the kind of food we eat. And we used to live long until they come and said our food are not healthy. And we started eating the wrong thing. And high blood pressure flies. So many things flies. So many problem comes. Even the coronavirus in the Western world is attacking more black people than the white people. Because we've taken our ways of life, we've dumped it, and we've grabbed another ways of life that is not good for us. The day elephant started eating with lion, and they start chasing hyena, and the elephant started eating hyena, that is the day he started looking for trouble for himself. But we don't understand that. Even our beans now, we can't bring our beans to this country anymore because some idiots were using kabad inside the beans to prevent flies from getting in there. So they ban it. Why do we have to kill ourselves? The people in the market, in the south, forget about the north. When you go to the south, the Congo they used to sell you gari, they bang the bottom inside. It's not the only government that is wrong. Everybody should check their life. Abike Ade was saying earlier on that it is the way we live our life. It's not only the leaders that are bad. Even within ourselves. If we are not bad within ourselves, why would someone give me 1,000 naira to vote him in? That I know that I will suffer the 1,000 naira for the next 4 years. These are part of the little strings that's still holding Nigeria together. The oil, thank God the oil is in trouble now. The seaport, when there's no money, what are they going to import anyway?
Yeah.
But the people up north in Nigeria the people from Niger Republic can still use the seaport without paying any money to the government, but paying money to their friends.
Yes.
Our ways of life before was agriculture. And everything was working for us. Obafemi Awolowo developed our agriculture so good. We have the high TA sometimes ago. International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. And they study everything we're planting, the palm oil, the cocoa, everything, they study it. They build us a big, massive settlement. Not knowing they are coming there to understudy what we're doing, to take it abroad and take it to Brazil, take it to that place, take it to this place, foolishly. Did they open their nyash to us to come and study them and take it back to Africa? They don't open their nyash for us.
That's the TV.
But we're so stupid. More plantation in Ibadan has stopped functioning. Ijebu Farm project is not functioning anymore. All these things. When they hand it over to us, rubber plantation is not working anymore. Iwokwi Maple Mill is not working anymore. Ajakuta Steel Mill is not working anymore.
Jeba Sugar
is not working anymore.
Ado Ekiti textile industry,
they're not working anymore. Nigeria could be a good tourist center. It could make it. If you let these Oyibo people know there's a fountain in Osun State, I think it's Osun State now, that next door to each other, the cold and the hot fountain. That's
Ekiti.
Yes, the cold and the spring
At the hot spring. Yeah.
next to each other.
Ikogosi.
Yeah, it covers the water spring.
Yeah, yeah.
And one bring out cold, the other one bring out hot,
Hot.
from the same spot.
Hot, boiling.
And they
Boiling,
meet at
boiling.
a spot. Yeah.
So how that happens, nobody knows. So I'm not expecting people to just forget about the past.
Mr. Moderator.
Yes.
Moderator.
Yes.
Mr. Moderator, sorry to cut you short. Nigerians are not tapping into that. Nestle are tapping into that. They pack the spring water, they package it, and then sell around the world to Nigerians too.
Okay, we're blaming the government. This is a program that we educate ourselves, and you're keeping the program to yourself alone. You're not sharing it to everybody to see. We are 106 people on this program now, and I don't think we have up to 100. Toyin Godson, what does that mean? What do you say the right S word? What's S word? I don't understand, because you keep bringing all this vocabulary for me.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Moderator, sir.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
In broadcasting, there are some words we don't use. We call them NTBB.
Okay, not to be broadcast, yeah.
God bless you. There
Yeah,
was a
when
word
I say-
you used
when
there.
I
was
say
beginning to
yash,
think
yeah.
it was Stella that was speaking. I was beginning to think it was Abami that was there. I understand you. I understand how you feel. And I took my time to listen.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about the devaluation of the naira in 1986, before 1986, I think for me, I was in the old Gongola then. I was in somewhere called Mubi.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, in the old Gongola. When what's his name now? The present president took over government. A couple of my cousins were politics. When you visit them in the university in their hostels, they live like kings. They would usually give you their tickets to go take a meal. And when I'm talking about a meal, I'm not talking about a meal that you would eat and regret. I'm talking about a full course meal. It was free. Their laundry was done for free. And I recall too that when I was in school then, I wasn't paying any dime. All I needed to do was just go to school. This idea was introduced by late Chief Awolowo.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah.
And it extended to the north. Some of the governors picked up the idea. They were running it. Your uniform for every term is always new. Finish your notebook, you to return it. There is a store officer that would change it for you. But immediately our man here got there. I guess probably as part of his plan to discipline us, because he said we were not disciplined enough. That we are disciplined people. He decided that he should take away all those freebies. Unfortunately, people who benefited from all of those freebies
I one there now.
are the same people who dragged him back 35 years later. We had a lot of argument with some people. We argued a lot, and they will tell you don't like the man, you hate the man. I keep telling people the word hate is strong. It is like the finger. If you put your finger separately and you point, you will discover that they will do different functions. But if you pull it together and you make it a punch, make it a fist, you can punch anything away.
Yeah.
Our elders who are supposed to be helping us punch away all of the mess they created are the same people who are drawing the mess and putting it on our heads. At my age now, I have 2 kids. If I tell you how much I have in my account, you will be shocked. And I am a federal government worker. And the reason why I don't have so much in my account is because I would refuse to steal.
Yeah.
But if you go to some places, if you go to some ministries, you find people who are on my grade level, who have houses in all of the 36 states, including the Federal Capital Territory. because they are related to somebody in power, they can have access to all of these things, and because they are ready to compromise. I am going to tell us something today that is, I'm sure probably would have heard about it, but it is most shocking. A few years, we were to be given employment and the NCC. And somebody like me walked in without showing that, overqualified for the job. It was a grade level 8 job, and I walked in with almost 6 years experience. It's a job that I can do off my finger. And when I think, and they had done the interview and gone all through the processes, I discovered that we were delaying unnecessarily. So I asked questions. What is happening here? And somebody who is not even from my own place, from my region, called me aside and said, do you know any big man? You must know a big man, and the big man must be from your own region for him to help you. And I said, okay, if that is the issue, let me go back home and ask my elders. And I went back home and I asked. And they directed me to somebody. I'm not going to mention his name now because mentioning his name alone nauseates me.
Yeah.
And I went to him. I spent 2 weeks to see him. Eventually, when I saw him, he told me that that is not his problem. That I should go and run the interview and run and wait for my turn, like every other person is doing there. Behold, some of the people that I befriended there that were my friends were from the north. Some of them off the heart, without even knowing anybody, submitted their names to an emir in one of these north central states. And the emir collected their names without knowing their father or their mother was, and signed the document for them. And they said that they should ensure that those boys get employment. These people are planting their people in very strategic positions, but your own brother will tell you to go and get more certificates. Yet, with the same certificate, you will go abroad and get to the US or get to the UK and become, a masterpiece that the Oyibo man would worship. We have very fantastic people who are from our region who are operating in the states that you will never believe. When I took my time one time to Google southwestern people who are doing well in Europe, and I saw names, and I even saw some people that are actors, even in my own field, that I never knew were Yorubas. That I never had in their field of profession. But when it comes back home, and we need to translate this into action, we become each other's problem. Instead of becoming a solution for some through a clog in a man's wheel. Let us take, for instance, I keep asking the question, and a lot of people have been calling me and telling me to shut up. But I will not keep quiet. I will keep asking. Who is the leader of the Yoruba nation, for instance? Who represents us? The last time we had a leader was when we had Baba Abraham Adesoya. And Baba passed on. The people that Baba nurtured and handed over to and said, the Yoruba nation must not fall. Where are they today? What is that? They will eat the moi and take and eat the nylon that with which it is packed. And they will, whatever they are doing it for your own interest. You are doing something for the interest of somebody, and you are already close to your grave. And the person can't see what you are doing in his interest. Let us stop lying to ourselves. Yes, we are educated. Yes, we have all of these resources. Yes, we have all the wherewithal to be fantastic people. But do we have a direction? Do we have a plan? We don't. Even Baba Awolowo that we keep referring to, didn't one of us betray him?
Yeah.
One of our own fathers too betrayed him because they were frolicking with the outsiders.
They're dancing with the devil.
People.
Yes.
We're not hiding who betrayed him, because we're not hiding.
Yeah.
On this channel, we're not hiding. We told it so many times, and we're still gonna tell him. Latif Jakonde.
Yes. So what are we saying? Why is it difficult for all of us? Why is it difficult for us to tell ourselves the truth and become one? We either we like it or not. These people that we keep going to kiss their feet, we are better than they have our own specialty. They have their own area of specialty. I lived here over 40 years, well over 40 years. I know the way they behave. I know the way they treat themselves. All you need to do is speak their language, knock on their door, and you don't necessarily have to explain where you're from or anything before they help you. The Yoruba man or the Igbo man looks at what is going to benefit first than what he's going to do for you that will make you, that will interpret into a better nation or a better Yoruba nation. So what are we saying? If they decide, even a madman, we used to say this proverb in a local parlance, carry hoe, give madman, egbe oko, egbe funwere, ako ile sabi ara e. Give a hoe to a madman, pack the sand and put it under, blame them themselves, blame your own people for refusing to help themselves. So if we need to, I keep saying this, if we don't come together as a people, as a region, as one of the largest race in the world, if we don't come together, if we continue to betray ourselves and betray our people, if we don't come together now and realize that we have made a mistake and find our path and discover that we are better, we will never get anywhere. These people will continue to do what? To lead us, and we will continue to follow. How can somebody, for instance, tell me that the person who is my president is far better than the person who is my VP? And when you now say that it is a matter of education and exposure, somebody will now tell you that what kind of exposure does somebody need if not what he got in the army? For goodness sake, we have generals who are retired in the southwest who if you give the army to, they retired in the 60s, 70s, 80s. If you give the army to today, they will run it perfectly well. We have disciplined people in the military. I tried joining the military 2002, 2003, 2004. I had to give it up. Why? Because yes, the person who was sabotaging it was also somebody from my place who said to my face, "What are you going to do in the military?" These other people are putting their own people there. So the truth about the whole matter is saying that the qualification does not matter, exposure will matter, experience will matter. How do kings, how do our obas, how did they run the Yoruba region before the colonialists came? How did we function to become what do we call it now? Oni. Yes, báwo la ṣe ń ṣe gbà yẹn tí ò dàrú, báwo làwọn bàbá wa ṣe ń ṣe tí ò dàrú tí ò bàjẹ́. I'm sorry to speak in pidgin. I can't express it better. English don't be my father language. But so how did they do it then that it is now becoming difficult for us to run our own region and make it function? What is wrong with us? Even the obas now sit down with the political leaders and dance and eat and come back home and lie to the people and say, because is not what I'm going to do. But at the end of the day, we know that they hide and collect money and put in their pockets. The Oba and the chiefs are richer than the people that they are presiding over, and the people are suffering. You give borehole to an Oba, he will sit on the money and waste it. Then you want to blame the councillor, you want to blame the chairman, you want to blame the state house of assembly members. Then you go and blame the governor. The governor who has spent money to get votes, he will recoup his money first before thinking of working for. That's one of the reasons why. In conclusion, so I don't take too much time. That's one of the reasons why I said in one of our episodes, if we don't go and look at that constitution again, that gives power to people who don't deserve it. One of my guys here said it. We keep bringing in idiots. Pardon my French. We keep bringing in idiots because those are the people who have the money to get there. If the person who gets there is not somebody that is voted by the people, we will keep going in circles. This one that we are running around like headless chicken, until we realize that as a people, we have power, and we take that power and use it the way we are supposed to use it, by putting qualified people there. It is not enough for you to put a man there that is qualified. You should also have a plan for the man. The man should work a plan. I keep saying the model for Nigeria and the future of this country is Engineer Seyi Makinde. I am not marketing him. I am saying this from the bottom of my heart. Engineer Seyi Makinde is a model. The governor of Borno State is a model. We should sit with these people. Other governors and other leaders should sit with these people and ask them, what are the plans? Even before Makinde became governor, he had already rolled out his plan. He was there for everybody to read. He spoke to the market women, spoke to the drivers on the road, the old women, the people in the market.
He spoke with everybody, drew a plan, and is working with the plan. That is what this country needs for it to remain together. Work with a plan. And that constitution that you have, that constitution was prepared and pushed on us by the same people who put us in this mess, who have been contributing to coups from the beginning to now. If we don't jettison the constitution and come with a constitution that is people oriented, that reflects the interest of the people, we'll keep going in circles. Even if you bring, pardon me, forgive me, if you bring Jesus Christ to rule Nigeria and you don't give him a plan, Nigerians will complain. We must have a plan to say that the East should do this, the North should do this, the South should do this, the North Central, the whatever should do this. There must be something that everybody brings to the table. As long as it is one part that brings something to the table, there will be agitation, there will be suspicion, there will be political incorrectness, there will continue to be people who don't deserve to be there that will be there. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for that elaborate explanation of what needs to be done. Shea Makinde has been doing wonders, and I think he might one day become the president of the Dua nation.
I pray so. Amen.
It will take us further. It will take us really, really seriously further. And I will not hesitate to support him because he's a man with a vision.
Correct.
He's a man with the ability and capability as well. And he's actually executing his plan in a way that will pay off to the Oyo State people currently, and by the grace of God, when he gets there, to the Nigerian people. The little string holding Nigeria from falling apart has left the center. The center cannot hold it anymore. So we've said that. We've said the wrong one. Where do we go from here? Someone posted a comment. Yorubas don't like serving. I'm sure Makinde there now, some people are getting angry. They will even put a proverb down. Kill of Official written or kill Vishori. Why is him there? That's there. But when they put you there, you're not going to do anything.
Yes.
So this man knows how to do it. Let him do it. I said something earlier on today too, when we were battling the system. I said, thank God I know about this system. Because if I don't know about this system, we wouldn't do a show today. Mr. Frank, am I lying? The things were not working.
Correct.
Everything was not working.
Correct.
I even have to connect to Mr. Okuribido's system to fix it. I have to connect to that one and that one and that one to make sure they all work. And at the end of the day, they work. It works. This thing I'm doing here now, Mr. Frank, I'm not sure if I said it in front of Olayemi Koiki. Welcome to the show, right? Olayemi, I said it a couple of days ago to you and to Mr. Okulubido, to Mr. Frank. I said, what I'm doing now is not my job. This is not my job. I'm only doing it temporarily until I can give it to someone else. Because I am not a presenter. This is not me. I don't want to moderate this. I want to... Anyway, I'm still doing my job anyway. I'm still mixing. I'm still working. I'm still doing the nitty-gritty because all I did was combine what I was doing before with what is not my job and multitask. But I will not say I want to take over presenting job permanently from the people that knows how to present. No. I can only step in as a good leader.
But Mr. Moderator, sorry to cut you short. They asking what's the name of the gentleman who spoke in red. He's got loads of people.
His name is Shegun, but you can't do anything to him. It's Shegun. Yeah, that's why I put it down earlier on. I said if there's a traitor here, Omori Odoki Ridi Joku. Right? And there's nothing anybody could do about that. Right? Nobody can do anything about it. His name is Shegun. He's speaking the truth because he likes the truth. Like most of us on this platform. And I like the people that is watching this platform as well. Because if we are not truthful, you guys complain and kick us out. Mr. Shegun, you know what happens sometimes? We normally vote. The people, the audience normally vote people out. And you know how they do the voting. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, they will start complaining. And they say, we need to vote. And they will vote whoever is talking jargon. They will vote the person out.
Oh, they are very wicked in this platform. These guys, they don't have mercy.
Yeah. They have mercy. The days of fooling ourselves is over. These guys online, they're fantastic people. They have brain. This is why you don't find some stupid people here. Right? When someone is cussing somebody, they complain, they say, hey, you complaining, you're cussing too much. Mr. Shegun had me in Facebook, please.
Yeah, Lola Olasukome is asking for your friendship on Facebook.
Lola is married though. Leave me alone. Okay, I'm only joking. Okay, Lola, I cite you to Godson. Hey, family, what gentleman? Okay, Mr. Shegun had me. Add people, please, yeah. I'm sure you still have space, yeah. Add people because people here are reasonable people. They're fantastic. When I mean fantastic people, they're fantastic people. When I first started moderating, I wasn't this good. They built me up. They pushed me forward because they support me. Thank God. The only thing they don't do is they don't know how to share. Because I'll tell you why I said they don't know how to share. Yeah? Let's analyze this. At the moment, we have 113 people watching. And they're telling me they want to be good citizens of Oduduwa Nation. Right? To be a good citizen of Oduduwa Nation, you must be able to tell people how to do the right thing. Sure. So you need to tell people who are not watching that, Evelyn King, thank you for joining us. Oh, Lashley, thank you for joining us. Engineer Adebayo, thank you for joining us as well. Okay, back to what I was saying. Mr. Shegun, good job. Thank you very much. Come on, you see, this is what I'm saying. These people will commend you when you do it right, and they will put a gun to your head when you're parabolating around the corner like an idiot. Anyway, I would like to say a very happy birthday to one of our very own, Jane Thomas. JT Rogers. It's a birthday yesterday. We celebrate you, Jane. We celebrate you because you are a fantastic one of us at Heritage Television. Happy birthday, Jane Thomas. She's not my daughter and she's not my wife. She's not even from my tribe. I have not even seen her before, but she's at Heritage Nigeria, so that is not a problem. We just want to celebrate her and say happy birthday to her. Anyway, oil and water doesn't go together. Nigeria is unworkable. We should go back to what they were before amalgamation. That's too late. That's too late. The world has moved forward. Jocelyn Noir, they said they need you. You need to come over. Is there any politician here? No, there's no politician. We don't normally take politicians. We take philosophers and people that read sociology online into the platform. We don't do politics. We do good governance, but not politics. We do. If you're doing it well, like Shea Makinde doing it well, we praise him. And if you're doing it bad, we condemn you. The only thing is that we don't put your back onto the drum. We don't take you to firing squad. We don't do that. You understand? Anyway, so we know what is not right that we're doing. What are the things we need to do to make it right? The youth need to do their bit. As they improve on the sharing, let me see, because maybe I've been saying things into the bin since. 67 it was earlier on. So how much has it gone up to? 81. Wow. You tried, but you still haven't got it up to 20. 114 people watching. Frank Bello, you don't know. Oh, well, I'm sure you must have shared. Maybe I haven't even shared myself.
I'm the first to always share it.
Okay, yeah.
Many times,
And
a lot.
how many likes? 111 people watching, only 62 like. Those are rubbish. We're supposed to be 111 watch, 111 likes. 111 watch, washing, about 250 shared, because everybody should share twice. Then we will educate more people. We will not run into trouble. If you don't do it, if people don't know about what we are talking about, we will run into trouble. Because we need to move away from the old way of doing things. Everybody should be able to say, I'm going to pull somebody else over. Olayomiko Iki, thank you for sharing. He's doing his bits. That's the only one doing it. Ellen Obafemi liked the post, but you need to share it. You need to share it. Every time you share, I say, okay, everybody, let everybody share and let's see what happens. I'm going to do my own side of the things and share. Everybody share one more time again. Yeah, share. Start watch party. Everybody should share. 1 minute. Everybody share. Let's see the sharing flying. We should share and get it up to like 150, 200 now. Let's everybody share one more time. Yeah. And the good thing is that I've heard some good story today. People said, I haven't been here before. Yeah, Mr. Afem Babalola, we has to be online. It's one of us. It's one of us. Okay, you see, I share. Ayokakpe Lumi shared. Who shared again? Anybody share?
I've shared.
Okay, you shared. Ellen Obafemi shared. Thank you. Koiki shared. Tolu Ola shared. Queen Esther shared. This is fantastic. Leslie Oladibolu, are you sharing? Aminat Olayinka shared. It's telling me you're sharing. Light of faith and joy outreach. You need to share. Adekola shared. Everybody needs to share. We need to get that share up to about. Shegun, have you shared?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm using a Palasa phone here. So
Okay, the Palasa phone is giving us some good instruction. Yes, Lashley started a watch party. Fantastic. So that more people will get educated and we will not run into this problem again. Because if you don't do that, share. Abe Williams, thank you for sharing. These people are fantastic. This is what I'm saying. These people want progress for our Oduduwa Republic and Biafra Republic. They want progress for the Southerner. That's why they decide to share. Emmanuel Onawaju, have you shared? Because if you don't share, I'll bring Koboko to your house. Oh. That's my brother anyway. So, Biggie, share. Everybody share. Fantastic. Komalafe Adewale, thank you for sharing. Everybody, thank you for sharing. Okay, now I'm not going to complain anymore because you beat me now. Everybody is. You know what? I was talking about some figures for sharing, and everybody has shared, which is good idea. Then people will learn that this is what we need to do. So we've talked about the problem. We want to start talking about solutions. The first solution that I personally see, someone mentioned it earlier on, that we don't like to work for somebody. We don't like to support. You guys are supporting. So I've seen someone saying, even without Mr. Shegun's analysis, someone said, my uncle refused to get me a good job somewhere. Yes. And this is what is killing us. Let's support each other. Don't look for return before you support your next brother. Don't look for it. Don't look for it. Do the right things in your life. Wherever you are, do the right thing. Do the good thing. Do the right stuff. And you will see us excelling. You will see us getting there, going forward. We're going to go forward. Can I tell you one thing? Professor Banji Akintoye, the man is old. He's not going to gain anything from what they're agitating now. And he's championing it. Before this agitation materialized and produced result, maybe about 10 years, the man is probably gone. Or 20 years, the man is gone. So it is for us that we enjoy it. It is for us that we have peace of mind.
Yeah.
We talk about the best way forward. We talk about problems. Yes, we cannot put a gun to all our past leaders that have done it wrong. No, that's not the right way. Because we need them. Without them, we're not going anywhere. Because the people that we divide, that we apportion land, they're not gonna talk to small boys like us. They will talk to the elders, because the elders will represent us. And for them to choose the right elder, we need to make this noise. This noise will make sure they pick the right elder, because this noise, they're listening. Thank you for being on the show from the beginning. Now, okay, thank you very much. Okay, someone, Wale shared to somebody. No, Adegboye got shared to Wale Walata. And Walata last time I said, oh, thank you for sharing to me. I'm here already. I'm here. You think I want to miss this fantastic opportunity? So I'm gonna start from.
I think I picked Mr. Moderator.
Yeah.
I picked up a comment by Innocent Chikezie.
Yeah.
Who said, Mr. Moderator,
Yeah.
you said people are not sharing. Don't you know Nigeria government are paying some people to monitor Facebook? They normally reduce number of people in a group if you are not singing their praises.
Oh my God.
Innocent Chikezie.
Innocent, where are you? Mr. You said people are not sharing. Don't you know Nigerian government are paying some people to monitor Facebook? Can I tell you one thing? That's crap. Innocent, listen to this. Let me tell you one thing. Facebook will limit you. They cannot diminish how many shares you have. They can restrict you so that less people will see your post. What makes them restrict people from seeing your post is what you're posting. If you're talking jargons, if you're spreading fake news, right? If you're not registered, if you're not a legal entity, Facebook will not limit what I do. No, they don't do that. Can I tell you one thing? I've been opportune to go to Facebook twice in London. They invite me. And let me see. Every night they send me, not every night, every other night, about 3 times a week, I have to do a survey for Facebook. About 3 times every week. And I'm not doing it for free. They're paying me to do that. A survey. What we need. What's going to happen. What is happening. What is going on. If this is not working properly, we tell them this is not working properly. This is working properly. Some few days ago, when you're on a program, you cannot pin it to the top. I put it in the survey yesterday. The other day. I put it in the survey the other day. They've done the adjustment to it a little bit. So let's get it right. They're not doing. We assume they're doing things they're not doing. When you keep sharing, kill, name, war, boom, foul language, swearing. Like I was swearing, one bomb is not even swearing. Come on. That was not even swearing. When you keep saying the wrong thing, then they will limit you. Because they don't want what happened in Rwanda to happen. They will limit you. Right? But if you're doing something educated, they will never restrict me. Yes, people will cry wolf as well. Some people will cry wolf. And when I mean people cry wolf, when you try to cheat the system and they find you out, they will penalize you. But that's fair. They need to do that. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough of that. Let's look at some of this one. Towards the critical society theory of the youth empowerment Nigeria. This article contributes to the development of the critical society theory of youth empowerment, which emphasizes collective effort to create, Facebook jailing, pandemic spreading. Yeah, they will jail you if you do things wrong. They will jail you if you're spreading bad news. And I'll show you something quickly. Are they crucifying me there? Okay,
No,
it's on the other PC.
I'm picking up Biggie Tutti Methuselah, who said Facebook can jail me 100 times and I'm ready to open account 200 times.
You don't even need to do that. Just do the right thing. They won't jail you for no reason. They jail you because you. Okay, most times 80%. Mr. Shegun, I've had a post before that I called you physically to say, I have this post. Could you verify this post for me before posting it? And you couldn't verify it, so I didn't post it. Remember? I'm not with you. I can't see. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Okay. Did you remember? Right? When I called you early morning and said, yes, clearly. I have this news. Could you verify this news for me? And you're not the only one I called. I called so many people.
Yeah.
Shola, I called Shola and said, Shola, this news they said in Abuja, is this true that this building is on fire? Oh, I can't see it from here. Then I'm not going to post it. Can you go and see if the building is on fire? I called somebody in Lagos. This petrol station is on fire. Go there, have a look. Jane Thomas, call him one Sunday evening. There's a church that they opened. Could you go and verify for me that what they said is happening is happening? I called Bola to say, go there. Then I can post it. If I can't verify it, I can't post it. Because if you then
I think someone is asking if we just continue with the program so that we can get the conversation going.
Yeah, somebody's saying it.
Okay. So that we're gonna do that because I don't want you guys to vote me out. Because if I don't do that, you're just gonna vote me out and give the thing to somebody else. Okay, I'm gonna go to Shegun first. What do you think we can do so that if we eventually get Oduduwa Republic, we will not go back to the story of the olden days?
All right, what we can do, there are so many things we can do, really. First off, we need to really sit down and look at what we have to contribute that makes us a better people, what makes us stand out. We need to harness our mineral resources. Yes, to a certain extent, we could say that we have Undu, and probably maybe Edo State may be able to join in, which I think may not be possible. Those are the only places where I think we can draw some crude oil. I think we need to really go back. We need to go sit down and think critically of how we can get ourselves away from that evil crude oil. As long as the crude oil is there, a lot of us will never understand that we have better potentials. I understand that in Cuba, their doctors are well sorted for in foreign countries. People look for Cuban doctors and they pay them very good money, and in turn those people bring back money to build their economy. Indians do it. Chinese are beginning to do it. They are virtually taking over every facet of life here in Nigeria. You find them everywhere. They even bake bread in Nigeria here. It is that bad. We need to really look inwards and think of what we think of ourselves as a people and draw a plan that is going to help us come out, look away completely, totally from this crude oil that is a cost to us more than a blessing. For me, I think human resources and over and above everything, like the Yoruba people would say, in cocoa and our coffee, and see how we can make it a commodity that can be exported, something that we can also build some other products out of. I was in Ivory Coast in 2008, and I saw a long stretch. I'm not too good with calculating what do they call it? They said it's about how many acres of land now where they had pineapples. And I was asking our tour guide, I said, so what are they going to do with the pineapple? He said 95% of the pineapple will be exported. That is one of the resources that bring money to the country. They also have cocoa, like we have in Nigeria here, but not as much as they have in Ghana. They also export as simple and as cheap as bananas. And these are the things, even our kola nuts, like we keep saying in the north, yeah, we don't know where kola nuts they grew from, but now chop and pass. What is wrong in exporting kola nuts? We have our farmers there whose kola nuts are bought off them by big people or rich people and are exported for big money, and these farmers don't get anything in return. So what is wrong in the government investing, for instance, in kola nut farming of dairy products. Let us look at what we have that is our own potential and tap into them. Aside from the fact that we go to school, we sabi read well, and we come out with flying colors, and we are fantastic people in our areas of endeavor. That we also need to be able to put some of these things together to develop our region. If we don't do that, and over and above everything, it's going to be difficult for us to stand. Over and above everything is this issue of I no go gree. The Yoruba man will tell you, look, I stand on this point, and because I stand on this point, nobody can shake it. Then we have division. We must be able to have a leader that we can follow. Somebody that when he says this is what we're going to do, is what everybody must follow, either we like it or not. In the north here, all you need to do to pass information, especially as it relates to politics, is just to pass it to the imam. Once it gets to the hand of the imam, no matter how small the imam is, the information will go around. And once it goes around, it is what they say that everybody sticks to. Only very few are deviant. So why can't we replicate that in Yoruba land? Let us have a situation where all of these, our wise and rich and powerful people come together and say, look, let some of these industries and some of these resources that we waste, we look at and waste and contribute to other nations. What is wrong in contributing it to our own region? We had a councillor once who was a medical doctor who in his own area, in his own constituency, decided that he was going to be bringing doctors from other places who are experts in other fields to help the people of his communities or his constituency be healthy, and he gives them free drugs and free examination. So what is wrong, for instance, in Odua land, having what do they call it now, a world standard hospital, where some of our sons who are in the UK, who are spread all over Europe, come home once in a while. We're not saying come home totally, who come home periodically and see that these hospitals function. Some of these organizations, some of these countries abroad that some of our leaders go to for treatment, medical tourism we call it. Some of these people, this is what they used to run their country. As silly as it sounds, that is what they used to run their country. Malaysia came to Oyo State and took our palm kernel away, and today they are the world number one in oil production. So if they are number one in oil production, don't we have palm kernel in Yoruba land? So what is wrong? For instance, in looking at it and saying, okay, look, let us channel this thing. If we have it more in Oyo State governor, you are going to be the head in charge of palm kernel, so that we can export for our region and for our people. Like Chief Obafemi Awolowo did, the cocoa house that we have presently in Oyo State. Aside from the cocoa house and some of the things, notable things the Baba put in place, what other things did our leaders that followed put in place? Some of the things that they put in place are for themselves. You go to Ikoyi and you say you want to buy let's say for instance you want to rent an office. You dig deep and you find out that it is Tinubu that owns half of Ikoyi or owns the whole of Lekki. Why should one man have so much when the people suffer? So whatever it is that you are going to have must belong to the people. If it doesn't belong to the people, people will continue to come there and ruin it. So I am saying that human resources and the resources that we have that is in the bush must be the things that we need to turn around and work on with a visible plan and say, okay, in the next 50 years, we want to do this. In the next 100 years, we want to do that. I remember that I asked somebody who came from Cadbury as a young pupil in primary school, that do you produce this candy that you're giving us? Do you produce it in Nigeria? And he said no, that they don't produce candy as simple as it is. We don't produce it in Nigeria, and we have cocoa in the west, in the southwest. So what is wrong in having a candy factory there, and we produce our own candy that even those people can buy from us, despite the fact that we're going to sell the raw materials to them? Even the oil that we're talking about that is a burden upon us now, we don't refine oil in Nigeria. We export the crude and we buy them back and give to the people. So it is a general problem that cuts across all of the region. Unless we sit down and draw a plan and say, look, this is where our strength is in human resources. We can put all of this things. How big is Japan? Japan is how many people are in Japan? And look at the fantastic things that they're doing there. What is wrong in copying the technology? I don't know how true it is. I was a young boy when somebody said a student in OAU Ife which is going to be my last statement on this, sir, last comment on this, produced a pounding machine, and they presented it to the then head of state, Chief Obafemi Obasanjo, Olusegun Obasanjo, and Obasanjo said, look, no pounded yam go sweet like waiting a pound from inside mortar. Decided that the machine was useless. Somebody somewhere, I think in Japan, bought the technology, and they came back and sold the pounding machines to us. Why do we come up with ideas that people would have to take abroad for people abroad to accept and be sold to us? Look at what they're doing in Madagascar. Look at what they're doing in Senegal, testing themselves. Why can't we on our own, NCDC, aside from giving you figures, can't develop a test tool as simple as it is to test people so that people can test themselves in their homes? And they keep telling you we have tested 10,000 and we are 200 million. So there is certainly a problem. Unless we fix that problem and look inward and look at what we have as potential, especially human resources, and harness them and put them in a way that everybody will benefit from them, not just a particular set of people. You don't have to be rich to be able to afford health facilities. Everybody, either you're in the village or you're in the city, should have the same equal opportunity, regardless of where they are.
For opportunity regardless of where they are. Mr. Shegun, are you up to one question I want to ask you? I really want to ask you one question. Are you up to it?
Sir.
You up to it? Are you sitting comfortably? You see,
yes,
I put
go ahead.
you only now. You are from Kogi State.
Go ahead, sir. Yes.
Are you a Yoruba man?
I am a Yoruba man.
So how will you go with Yoruba Oduduwa if they perform it? Are you going to go with Oduduwa away? How are you going to go?
Fantastic question. I recall that I had this same debate with a couple of my friends who are Northerners. And there was an argument where somebody said somebody is from Lagos State and he is not from the North. And I stepped forward because they had already covered the man and they were bullying him. And it's an academic environment. And I walked up to them and I said, I'm equally a Yoruba man. They said, no, you are not a Yoruba man, you're from Kogi State. And I said, okay, how many of where are you from? Zamfara State. I said, you're from Zamfara State. He said, yes. So you are Hausa? He said, yes. How are you sure that you are Hausa? He said he's Hausa by virtue of where he's from. And I said, aside from that, what other thing can you point at to show that you're from the North? And he said his name is XYZ, which is the proper name that they bear in the North. And I asked him, my name is Olusegun Onibiyo. Do you bear Olusegun Onibiyo in the North? And he said, no. My language, which is Okun, that I'm proud of, is similar to what they speak in Ijebu. To my village. And starts to speak his language. And we were told from history that we migrated from Ile-Ife to that particular point. So we know where we are from.
Okay. I'm happy you said that. Maybe on Friday, I'm gonna bring you in again on Friday because there's so much to talk about between us now. I'm gonna go to Olayomi Koiki because he's a young man. He might know better what we need to do because this youth these days, they have better brain. If you want to try them, give a smartphone to a 3-year-old child and let them go inside, lock it with all the pins, code, fingerprint you have in the whole world. Give it to them, give them about 3 hours, they will open it for you. So let's hear from Mr. Koiki on what you think we can do to make sure we don't run into the problem of the past that Nigerians were facing. And before that, Solar Show, you need to send your number in to me later on. So Solar Show, you need to send your number into Heritage Television, either by inbox or by any means. Get your number to us because I need to have a word with you. Thank you. Olayomi Koiki.
Thank you very much, moderator, and thank you to the remaining panel that have been, putting it out the way each and every one of us understand and have a solution to the problem of the country. And also thank you to all those that are watching us from around the globe, which is the the beauty of the technology. I've been sitting down here. I've been sucking in so much of the information that we have been putting out. I'm just about over 40 plus. And the first thought that came to my mind is I've had people on the comment, and it's not the first time. We are always scared of one thing. One thing is that as Nigerians or as Africans, there's always this fear at the back of our mind that what will our government do if I say this? What will our government do if I do this? What would our government do should they find me in a gathering like Heritage TV or in an environment where they are discussing, the imagined new nation, where, Oduduwa wants to be and Biafra wants to be and Arewa wants to be. But I don't know whether that is the same fear that those that came to collect independence on our behalf, from a white man, had that same fear. You can see the comparison. We are only having that fear of a government that won't be there even if they're there for like 16 years and eventually PDP was taken away. But we are now having this fear, and if we only compare people in that generation, where they were facing the heavy burden of a country like a United Kingdom as at that time, and say, look, we've had enough of you guys in our society, managing our affairs, and we want to be independent. So you can see that we have a big, obstacle. And that is why people might say, whether we are going to change the mentality or the mindset of people at home, we won't be able to change that mindset because the fear is there. The fear of having a conversation. As I said it about a couple of days ago, I saw a protest by the same very powerful people that we looked at and those, influential within the society right here in London, when they were fighting, protest against, the Abacha regime. So what is the difference now is, we've had the technology. We are now more advanced. We've now been able to move from one end of the country and say, you know what, this is not just working. And if it's not working, do we keep our mouth sealed because we have, a government that is running and we don't have to say that this is not working? I mean, as I speak to you right now, you can call any part of Nigeria and you'll hardly get electricity. You can call any part of the country as we speak right now, there is no pipe-borne water. As we speak right now, girls are being raped. Women cannot give birth. And I'll take you back, and I hope you've got my video ready because I really want us to have at least one of that video that I've sent to you, moderator. And that takes me back to one of my trips to Ondo State in Akoko local government. I will give you what, that particular local government in Ondo State. The state contains 18 local government
Sorry, you need
areas.
to resend the video because you must have sent it.
It's on WhatsApp.
How long ago?
On your not the group WhatsApp, is on the main WhatsApp where you'll be able to pick it up.
It must have been about okay, let me look for it because so many WhatsApp has coming, but I will look for it. Thank you.
Okay. So what am I trying to explain here? We have 774 local government, but I want to just pick on a particular local government and tell you that the generation there will hold me accountable because I was able to speak to two young boys at that particular local government, and they were heading to the farm, and I was thinking to my head, the same set of people, we have children similar to their age, older than them, already advanced. I'm not saying going to the farm is the wrong idea, but we have a big problem because these children don't understand what the outside world is. Myself and you that have that understanding, we still have the fear that the government is going to think about what we are discussing. So we have a big, obstacle. And let me say, the state contains 18 local government areas. The major ones are Akoko that I was able to visit 2 years ago. And what I saw in that particular local government kept me weeping for a very long time, understanding that the generation before us have already failed. And if we are not careful right now, this same generation, I'm not talking about those in the 50s and the 60s, you have already failed me as well. But I don't want to fail the next generation. I want to be part of it, what will make the next generation to say, we started something and we might probably get the result before they get to my own stage. Because whether we like it or not, we've talked about people that are even, done all kind of cool, in terms of they were in their 30s, they were not even in their 40s. I'm in my 40s now, and somebody is saying to me, oh, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't be on that platform, you shouldn't discuss this. When they were doing all the cool, they were in their 30s, they were not even worried about the situation. They just thought and sat down within themselves and said, you know what, we're gonna take over, and they've done that. And that is part of the mess that we are in now. So we have a lot of Nigerians that are just, don't want to say it the way it is because we are still fearful. We are fearful of the same Nigerians like us. We are no longer fearful of a white man that came in, but some individuals, as at that time, were not fearful of them. They fought it to the end until they got that independence, whether they got it on a fraudulent, whether we've all know the history. I don't want to go into the history. I'm not interested in the history. Because we've been talking about that same history. We know we will continue to review the history, but what I'm saying now is the discussion on this table right now is Nigeria has failed every Nigerian, regardless of wherever you are, whether you are comfortable with another passport in your hand, but you also suffered to get that passport. A lot of us have gone out of our way. And my mom always says something. Immigration will continue to be immigration. Even by the time this country, becomes a margin nation, we will still have, immigration, but we'll probably have to control it one way or the other, just like America is saying to Nigerians now, get your house together before we allow you to come in because we don't even know who you are. But my mom said something to me when I came here in 1998. Immigration is not a problem. As long as you are not born in that country, you will go through immigration. It's not a disease. But my contribution tonight is, Nigerians, you got to wake up. Because if you're still fearful of one particular part of that continent because of what the government is saying or what they would do, but people have already suffered for us to get to where we are. So what is the next thing for us to do is deliberate and say to ourselves, if it's working for you, it's probably maybe because you are part of the system and you're enjoying it. But we have to look at it from a bigger picture. And when I'm in a bigger picture, I took a road trip from Lagos to Abuja, almost same time last year. I traveled twice to Ondo State, 2 years ago rather. And what I saw on that particular road, when I was coming back on a night trip from Abuja back to Lagos, we had a stopover in Kogi before we continued the journey. And I saw children, selling, at the middle of the night around 1 a.m. And you said to me that generation are not going to cost me and you for not saying the truth and for not doing the right thing because they don't even understand where we are at the moment. I'll go back straight to you in the studio first and I'll put a pause on that.
Your video is ready. When you want it, let me know, yeah?
Yeah, please, let it roll, please. Yeah.
Okay. There's two of them. The two little boy or the one by yourself?
I want the two little boy. They are speaking in Yoruba, but I'll see how we can translate it back to those listening to us that are not from Yoruba. In the 27th of October 2018, the time is exactly 7:54 a.m. ẹ rí i pé àwọn àbúrò mi méjì ní ìlú tí a wà yìí àwọn amúfẹ́ káwọn dárúkọ ìlú tá a wà because àwọn ọmọ ìlú lẹ́yìn àwọn dẹ̀ mọ ìlú jẹ́ mi lọ àwa wá bá wọn ṣe nǹkan ní ìlú ni ẹni tí mo fẹ́ béèrè ni pé kí ni orúkọ yín. mo gbọ́. Rotifa Olamide. ẹ̀yin kọ́. Rotifa Blessing. Nígbà tí mo rí yín ní àárọ̀ yìí mo rí pé mo súnmọ́ yín mo fẹ́ wá béèrè ẹni ẹ̀ ń lọ sí ìtafẹ́ mọ̀ nísìn ni pé kí ni ẹ fẹ́ kí ni tí ìjọba lè ṣe fún irú oko tẹ̀yìn ń lọ yìí àti pé kí ni orúkọ ìlú tí a wà yìí.
Nǹkan tí ìjọba lè ṣe fún àwọn àgbẹ̀ tó pè wá ní pé kó jẹ́ kí nǹkan àgbẹ̀ kó tà kó lè wọlé business owó tá lè fi ṣiṣẹ́ oko tá lè fi kó nǹkan lọ sí Èkó Àbújá irú ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n lè fún wa lówó àti lè ra ilẹ̀ tó pọ̀ gidi tá lè fi gbẹ́ ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ká lè fi gba àwọn èèyàn tá lè bá wa ṣe sí ká lè fi gbẹ́ nǹkan ọ̀gbìn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn.
Kí ni àwọn nǹkan tó jẹ́ nǹkan ìgbìn tó jẹ́ nǹkan tó jẹ́ ti ìlú gangan níbí báyìí àti obì Okay, n tí mo wá fẹ́ mọ̀ nísìn ni pé ẹni kíjọba fún yín ní owó kọ́dẹ̀ ràn yín lọ́wọ́ kí làwọn nǹkan míì because ó lè má jẹ́ pé owó nìkan kí ni nǹkan míì ẹ ṣe training kọ́ dá yín lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nípa àwọn nǹkan tẹ́ ń lò kí ni nǹkan míì tó tún jẹ́ pàtó yàtọ̀ sí nǹkan tẹ́ ti dárúkọ fún wa yìí.
tó bá lè ṣe ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fún wa lóòrùn dà àti wọ́n lè gbé ẹ̀rọ tá a lè máa fi ṣiṣẹ́ oko bíi kọ̀ntrátọ̀ tá a lè máa fi kọ́kọ́ tó pọ̀.
A tó bí ọdún mélòó nísìnyí tí ń bá wọn ṣoko ní àdúgbò yìí.
A ti tó bí ọdún 5.
ọdún 5 ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bá lọ́wọ́ àwọn òbí yín ni. ok ẹ ṣé gan ni o àmàrí yín bá o kí lẹ wá fẹ́ fi ránṣẹ́ sáwọn ọmọ ìlú tó gbé lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àti tó ń gbé lẹ́yìn odi màá bí lẹ́yìn kọ̀ọ̀kan kí ni àǹfààní tẹ́ fẹ́ kọ́ wá ṣe fún ìlú.
Ó wá fún wa ní owó àti gbé irú ọ̀nà ẹ̀bá ẹ̀kọ́ lè bá wa ṣe bí irú ọ̀nà ẹ̀bá ẹ̀kọ́ ilé ògbà tírélà méjì tí tírélà ẹ̀kọ́ márùn báyìí kan á sọ sílẹ̀ fún ẹ̀kan ni kó wá bá wa ṣe ọ̀nà wa àti iná kò sí iná báyìí kó wá bá wa ṣe iná wọ́n dẹ̀ wá tún wá bá wa ṣe omi.
kí lẹ́yìn fẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ ìlú.
wọ́n á ṣe àwọn irinṣẹ́ nǹkan tá a lè fi máa ṣe iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀.
ok a lè rẹ ní tó bá fẹ́ wo fídíò yìí bí wọ́n lè fẹ́ sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ padà láti wá bó ṣe máa ṣe ẹni nọ́mbà tó.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, let me quickly, for the benefit of our other audience that are not Yoruba speaking, I'll just quickly summarize, that interview. This was an interview I did 2 years ago, and you can see why
Mr.
there's a lot of...
Could you hold on 1 minute, yeah? Let me just dispatch Mr. Shegun. Mr. Shegun, is it okay if I dispatch you?
Okay, it's okay.
Okay. You want to stay? Or should I dispatch you?
Well, just dispatch me.
Okay, fantastic. Do you have anything to say, or should I just say bye-bye to you?
All right. I would like to say that we should all try as much as possible to see all of our discussion here as part of what we need to do, just like a preamble to what we really need to do to become a better people and a better nation. It is very evident that as it is right now, things are not working because those who are supposed to have fixed all of those things have left it to rot. So all this self-agitation, as it seems, is born out of the interest of the people to, if we can't develop everybody, develop ourselves. Let us see this as a task on each and every one of us and try as much as possible to play our part to make our country, our future country, better. If we don't have a Nigeria, if we have an Oodua Republic, better for each and every one of us. I even would want a regional government, kind of, because if each region can develop themselves and we only gather at the center when need be, I think it will be better for all of us so that all of us can grow at our own pace. Not that we would move 100 steps, then return 90 steps. All of this back and forth movement that we're having is not good for one, especially for the generation who are supposed to be benefiting from what should have been built some 50 years ago, who are trying now to build what the generation after them will benefit from. This country belongs to all of us. If it is not going to work, we're not asking it to break. We're saying people should take their destinies in their hands and become better people. So thank you very much to Heritage for this platform. Please keep this work up. You may not know how far this will go, but you'll be surprised at the end of the day when we celebrate and talk about you making our country that we are hoping and praying for a better place.
Thank you very much. So I will expect to see you on the panel on Friday by the grace of God.
Okay.
Okay.
All
that
right.
was Mr. Shegun Onibio from Nigeria. He's been with us all day today and he's been fighting tooth and nail since 8 o'clock to make sure, since before 8 o'clock, to make sure things work. You know what? I only contacted him about 10 minutes to 8 to say, you're on the show today. And he willingly, gladly accepts that challenge. And he has contributed immensely into today's program. I would like to say a very big thank you to him. Now, I'm going to go back to Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who was actually analyzing something for me. And before he come back to me, hopefully I will have get someone to replace Mr. Shegun. Thank you very much. Mr. Shegun, don't forget to accept friendship from all these people that are going to be on this platform that wants to invite you, because that way we can spread the good news. Thank you.
Thank you very much, moderator. And let me just quickly summarize and analyze that video for those that were not, Yoruba speaking. That video was done in 2018, and I'm sure if I go back to that same community, it's either it's far worse or it's probably, even going into the drain. First and foremost, those two kids, they're not kids, they're children. I mean, if we have similar children like that outside the country, we are not saying going to the farm is the wrong thing, but also you can see that, without a kind of support system, the mechanized support system has completely failed. And we have so many of them across the whole length and breadth of the country. And my focus is on that particular video. I asked them, where were they heading to? And they said to me they were going to the farm. I was there on a visit, but while I was there, I was so excited, and I came out of the main road. I just wanted to engage with people there, and I saw these two individuals, crossed over, and we started having the discussion. And I asked them, they were heading to the farm, and I asked them what they really wanted, for the government to do. A lot of people might say education is the key, but sometimes, people might also need apprentices to be able to do those kind of innovations that we've been talking about, the industry. Yes, you don't have to really go through, the university, but you can still go through, the technical, like a lot of us have it. I remember when I was getting into SS1, in my secondary school, I had the option of going into the technical, the science, or the art. But I decided to stay into the art because then I didn't even really know what I wanted to do. But I just know that, as an art student, you can either be a lawyer or a media. But again, let's go back to that main conversation. So they said to me that we're going to the farm. What is the real deal that they need from the government, to support them? They were talking about the government helping them with machinery. I didn't show you the cutlass, but they're still having the same cutlass that the generation before their generation were using, at that same farm. We talked about some of the produce coming out from that particular farm. The same thing that myself and you, if you go into your kitchen this evening, you probably have it in the house. These are the children that are suffering, to produce those things in the farm. Cocoa is what we use for beverages and all sorts. They plant it in a very difficult terrain. The man that is, powerful goes into it, buy it off them, take it out of the country. We don't even produce in that same community. We don't even do anything than just buy the quantity. It doesn't matter how small it is. They bag it together and then ship it out of the country. And that means those two young boys will continue to suffer. They will not be the same kind of farmers that you see in Europe. They will not be the same kind of farmers that you see in America. They will not even be anywhere near another farmer that is manipulating or monopolizing them as well in the same country we call Nigeria. I asked them how long they've been doing this. If they've been doing something for 5 years, ask yourself right now, if you're doing something continuously for 5 years, you now have, even if you went into it as a layman, you probably have been a manager. You probably have had another kind of skills if those skills were given to you to support you. And then I asked them, what more do they want? And they said, well, they wouldn't mind education. It might be education not really going into a university route. It can be an education on that same farming that they've enjoyed, they've taken from their grandparent or their family or whatever. And I did ask them, this is where you and me have failed. Because if we continue to say we've got nothing to do, and we want to sit down, or if people are having this conversation that, Oduduwa should be something that will be able to support these children, Biafra will be able to support them, the Arewa will be able to support all the Alimajiris, and there's no problem in that. But what they're saying is, I did ask them, what would you want the diaspora, your community that are living outside Nigeria, what would you want them to do? They said 3 things. And those 3 things are one of the biggest problems that we are facing in 2020. I said that about half an hour ago. Road. Our road network is something that will kill you. If it doesn't kill you, then you continue to pray, but that is not going to solve the problem, because the trip I took from Abuja to Lagos on a night bus, I always asked myself, If anything happens right here, that is the end of it. Not one person will hear that people have died in this particular road crash. That was my trip to Abuja, coming back on a night bus. They did spoke about light. As long as we don't have electricity, we are not doing anything away. The country has about 3,000 megawatts at the moment. Lagos itself needs 11,000. Maybe if we have this new imagination, we'll be able to say, look, we can have those more than 20,000 megawatt, and those children that you saw in that clips will be able to say, this generation have done something to make sure that we have it, because the generation right now is also sleeping, and this same generation that I interview will come back in another 10 years and say, you have failed as well. They did ask for water. You can imagine people going to the farm and there's no water. I don't understand how they're going to be able to do any farming if there's no water. They did ask for machinery. Do you just heard, our brother Shegun said there that a template was given to one of our presidents during his tenure to convert the same yam into pounded yam quicker, so that we can also not just think about Nigerians alone, we can export it to other African countries. But that failed, and we continue to talk about technology. These children were asking for 4 things, and I'm not sure in 2020 we've been able to deliver that. Road, light, water, machinery. What else will I say to some of those children that do all kind of hawk and selling all sorts on the motorway, and sometimes they get killed? And as you can see, we have a big task. If the generation before fought the white man to get independent, I don't see any reason why we should all be afraid for anything in coming as we continue to look into this emerging nation. I'll hand over back to Mr. Frank, or back to you in the studio.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Alayomi Koiki. I would like to introduce to you a new member of the panel, Mr. Femi Babalola. You see, technology is very good. Mr. Femi Babalola is far away from another part of the world. The one that left is far away, another part of the world, and we managed to convert anybody at the same spot. Mr. Babalola, before I come to you, I've kept these guys quiet since. And one of the people I'm worried about is actually Mr. Fatai Ogonibido, because I don't want him to start snoring. Because anything can happen. You see, your brother is actually waving to you, saying, you should rub your finger in your hand. He's taking a mickey out of you. Mr. Ogonibido, what do you think we need as an experienced man that can make our country better?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Thank you everybody for the contribution tonight, especially my brother Shegun Onibiyo. So nice to see you tonight. Well, let me just respond to some of the points, some of the angers that were expressed by Mr. Onibiyo. It is very true that things have wobbled for so long in Nigeria. And then each time he was talking, I keep wondering what or where he might have actually come from. So eventually when he revealed that he came from Kogi, I say, oh, no wonder. You see, Mr. Onibiyo is one of the tragedies that has happened to the Yoruba race. Somebody born and bred in Yoruba land that drank the Oduduwa water, now being challenged that he belonged to the north. So you can now see the tragedy that has befallen the Yoruba region, the Yoruba race. You can imagine how many Mr. Onibiyos we have that are lost in identity. My brother is not lost in identity, but because it's learned, he understands what is coming, where it's coming. But I'm just trying to draw an example of the humiliation, the bastardization, the contamination, the twisting that has gone through us as a race. For us, in year 2020, not actually being boldly sit in the committee of friends and say specifically, this is where I belong, simply because some thugs came together and bundled part of inheritance in order to create divide and rule within you. You can see the tragedy that we have faced, the contamination, the dilution, the humiliation that has befallen us as a race, as a region, as a race, as Oduduwa blood. It's a tragedy. So even for that alone, we need our identity as Yoruba nation. And let me remind Mr. Onibiyo, what we are going through today within the Yoruba land didn't start just today. Let us go back to history. How we used to manage ourselves prior to this time. This time. Let us think about what is happening in Kwara State, where a large percentage of Yoruba people have been wheeled to the north. Should this be happening? No. We are in year 2020, a time we should be consolidating our technological, advancements in that part of Nigeria. This is the reality of the tragedy that has befallen us as a race, which we will have now to get that honor back within a short period of time. And then we can't start to, count our eggs our chicken before the eggs are hatched. For now, let us put aside the resources, the man know-how, all the things that we are going to use to benefit us as Yoruba nation. Because the template with which Yoruba was ruled during the mid-50s, the template is still there. We still have experienced people who are going to put us right. What we have to be doing now is to make sure that we put that rallying point together. All the pockets of organizations that say they are representing Yoruba interest must come under one umbrella so that we can sensitize, we can mobilize, we can motivate people, so that by the time we are coming together to say, yes, we are ready, then the entire world will be listening to us. And when the entire world now starts to listen to us, then after getting our nation, the first thing that we have to do is the mass reorientation and mass attitudinal change of our people, because we have been so twisted for a very long time. We have lost our identity, we have lost our culture, we have lost our sanity, simply because some people who are together planning about how to destroy the Yoruba nation and its people. And this is what is happening. Not being tribalistic, not being racist, but this is the realization. Yoruba nation, we stand for progress, we stand for unity, we stand for love. We are generous, we are hospitable, and that's the reason why you can see from east, west, and southern part of the country, you can see the concentration of races within us, and we are happy living with them. And it has never happened before that we are fighting with anybody, except we were during the political era, where some people who stupidly trying to fight for a party and they are trying to bastardize others. It's not our blood. We are not like that. Let us rally ourselves round first. Let us identify our problem. Let us put it down on the paper. Where did we get it wrong? Why is it that instead of being a leader, why are we slaves on our own land? These are the education that we have to be giving to people. And when people are listening to us and we are coming together under one umbrella, under one canopy of unity, then we cannot start to, start the assignment of reorientating our people. Trying to change their attitudinal change, telling them about how to preserve your family's name, how to live as an icon in society. These are the traits that we have as Omoluabis. And these are the values that we grew up in until problem, poverty, deprivation, being subdued, all this brought us to this level. And more or less now we are right on our nails. So many of these people who are actually, I call them Omalebis or Omalebis. These are people who are being, they are being handpicked, they are being chosen to be used against those who have the sanity of leading us as leaders. It's conspiracy. They know what they are doing. They brought us into our nails simply because of jealousy, because they know what we can do. They know our resources. They know we are people of vision. We are people with ambition. We litter the entire world, that we are building nations across the world. All these things are bringing envy towards us. And this is the reason why we have to be sensible. Understand that we have to come together, because unity is strength. We had what happened during the palliatives distribution, when we are being referred to, after all, in the southern part of Nigeria, they have relatives from abroad who send them money. You can now see that's part of the envy. And we say we belong to one Nigeria. Are we really real as a people? Are we sensible with ourselves? Why are some people now trying to pull Yoruba Nation? Why are some people trying to pull it down? When the time comes for us to stand in unity and advance, we know what to do. Nobody can teach us because we are leaders in our own right. And the entire world knows us. That's why many nations of the world, they dread us because they know our worth. We are made to lead the black nation into a higher level in life. We are made to be good leader in black. Yoruba nation can survive on black nations across the world alone. Through tourism, through interactions, there are business we can do that to sustain. We have the know-how. We know what to do. So please, before we start to think about what our resources got here, let us bring ourselves together under one canopy first. Let us start to reorientate ourselves in schools and colleges. Let people understand that Omoduabis are for generosity, fairness, hospitality, rule of law, and other things that are associated for good governance. So let us come together in unity first, and then champion a cause whereby we can have the trust in ourselves that yes, we are ready, so we can move on to Yoruba Nation.
Thank you very much. No yellow card for you today, so that's a good one. my brother from another mother. How are you, sir? Hope you're not angry again now, yeah. At least this is getting better because things are going in the right direction. So you're getting there bit by bit. Should I go to Frank first or should I go to Frank Babalola? What should I do? Okay, guys, who should I give the mantle of the speech to quickly? Femi Babalola first.
You want to cause katakata now?
No, katakata. Let's hear from our people. Democratic society. Like my friend, the first one I see is the one I would take. Fatai, Nigeria is not the only northern leader. Frank. Olaiwale, Matthew, Ireland, Spain, Frank Bello. Okay, let's go to Frank Bello quickly. I will give it to him for a very short time, and I will give Babalola a very long time because whoever goes first gets short, and the second one gets long. So you're lucky. So go quick.
Yes, thank you very, very much, Mr. Moderator. Interesting. Very fantastic submission by Mr. Ogunribido, but let's quickly go back. Shegun did make mention of the fact that the contraption called Location 9 does not have a plan. You remember yesterday I threw a question to Daddy Ajala that, Daddy, sorry sir, when last did we had a development plan in Nigeria? Because they've never had one in that country. And he was able to testify that that was in the 50s that we had a development plan. But ideally, there was another development plan that I was hoping happened in my time that Awolowo prepared for Gowon at the time when he was a military junta, which was a 10-year development plan for Nigeria. Was that executed? No. Part of what was contained in that development plan was education that Chief Obafemi Awolowo emphasized that as Gowon happens to be the head of state, he should educate every Nigerian child. And the onus to educate every Nigerian child, nooks and crannies of that country, east, west, north, south, lies on him and not himself. Did Gowon educated the children of Nigeria at the time? No. Gowon would rather say the problem of Nigeria was not money, but how to spend the money. The problem of Nigeria was not money.
But now the problem of Nigeria is money and, and no money to spend.
Wait. Shegun equally said that crude oil was a curse. Mr. Guribido and I, we've argued this, we've said it, we've preached. We've been together time. Why crude oil was a curse on that nation. And that crude oil happens to be one of the little string of the topic of our discourse tonight that is holding that contraption they called Location 9, disintegrating. That little string, they will extract all our resources and then take it to the north. I have argued time over time that diversifying the Nigerian economy to other areas of commerce, such as tourism, will bring money, revenue that will put crude oil to shame. Diversifying the Nigerian economy into tourism, because we've got everything that we are blessed with by the superior God. Are we using them? Look at the soft stretch of sandy beaches all the way from Badagry and Cotonou down to Calabar, Cross River State, Akwa Ibom, all those areas before we start losing territory to our territories to Cameroon. Do you know exactly what tourism will bring in? I argued this out. Other than the crude oil that is going into individual pockets, revenue, into the pockets of the cabals and those that are holding that country to ransom. Tourism, I argued, will provide opportunities in hospitality. It will provide opportunities in the transport industry, which obviously include airlines. Tourism will provide opportunities in the hotel industry, building, civil engineering, because more hotels will be needed. Engineers will be at work. Architects will have to design. Builders will have to build. Building merchants will have to sell stocks of their building materials. Catering industry will benefit. Coming into the country, tourists, they will visit our bukateria. They will eat our street food. Historical places, they will visit. Places of interest. Above all, the medical industries will benefit, because when they are on holidays and when they take heal, they'll need to go into the hospital to be treated. And for them to be treated in our hospital, what else? We need a first-class medical facilities, that those facilities can actually claim off those the visitors' medical insurance. Can you see where we are? But because we simply don't have visionary leaders, but scumbags who don't have any clues about governance or how to govern people. I'll hand over to you back in the studio.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Okuribido, did you just buy lights for yourself? Did you buy new lights for your production?
Well, I think just work on it and it's working.
Oh, he has done me well, oh my soul. Stand up and praise the Lord. God is good. He has done. Okay,
Thank you.
Let's go to Mr. Femi Vavalola, who has been waiting patiently for me all day. Because I've been saying, I'm going to bring you in, I'm going to bring you in, I'm going to bring you in. And finally, I wanted to bring my brother in, drag him in onto this one. Mr. Bawola, our leader, are they short-sighted or they lack vision? That they can't see that planning for the future is a major part of a good thing to come. But they know how to plan a long-term thing for their pocket, because they were embezzling the money and keeping the money. The money that they will probably... I think that's lack of planning as well, because they won't need the money the way they're keeping the money. What's your thought on this?
Thank you for having me, Mr. Moderator.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. What I will say is this. The blacks, exactly. Let me go to... I don't want to talk much about I will first talk about the black. There's a problem somewhere about the black all over the world. Not only in Nigeria. Can we rectify the mistake? Yeah, I believe we can still rectify the mistake. There's a problem somewhere. a big problem somewhere. We have to rectify the mistake. Not about only Nigeria. Or what is happening in Nigeria is happening in other countries as well. But now go to the Yorubas or Nigeria leaders. Do we love ourselves? No, we don't love ourselves. Even when we are talking about Odudua, I will only say my truth. If anyone that is there want to like me, don't like me, that's their own cup of tea. Or people listen, I don't bloody care. This is it. Even Yoruba that want to have an independent, we're trying to fight for independence. Do we love ourselves? Are we not going to have problem after independence? Yeah, the truth is bitter. Are we going to love ourselves even after we have independence? I pray everything should come successful. But before we come to successful, I believe we should go back to our drawing board to try to analyze and have a global network strategy on the institution, how it's going to look like, because we have problem. I believe the problem will be solved if we really take our time, forget about past, forget about that maybe you are the best, I'm not the best, forget about that maybe you are the son of this or the son of that. If we can go back to our drawing board, we can still correct the mistake. Maybe the mistake we correct we will be rectified side of people that want to go out for Nigeria as well. Or maybe otherwise, plan 3, if Nigeria government we go back to the drawing board and trying to start analyze where is the mistakes from, or all the black all over the world, we should have what we call a engineer, or sorry, we should have what we call a global research. What really happened with black, because there's a problem somewhere. If you try to analyze what I'm trying to say tonight, anywhere you go to all over the world, you find black people to start struggling before they can easily achieve their aim. Even black and American and Caribbeans, there's a problem somewhere. And which I believe we need to rectify before we can move forward. Yeah, a big problem. I won't say more than that. Maybe I'm the one that's going to be the solution. Nobody knows. Maybe you are the one and nobody knows. But I believe that there's a problem somewhere. Even the people that Nnamdi Kanu that are saying that independent or not independent, even if they have independent as well, does some people really love him as well? Even the world leaders of the Yoruba World Congress, those people really love the man that is fighting for the cause of the incoming generation of the Odudua? This is what I will just say here tonight. There's a problem somewhere. And I will not say some of the part of the problem in the social media here. Yeah, there's a big problem somewhere.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There's a big problem somewhere, but what we're doing here, we change things. This is why we preach no hatred, no insult, vote with your head, do things right, trying to make life easy so that we can know exactly where we're going. We're still waiting for the figures from Lagos about the coronavirus figures in Lagos. As soon as that one comes, I will bring my brother Olayomi Koiki on the show quickly. But can I say something quickly before we go ahead? There's something I missed out earlier on. 1 second. Let me just try and get that one out so that we can say something good about life. Life is full of good things. We have to make sure what we're preaching for is what we get. And how do we get what we're preaching for? The best way to get what we're preaching for is by doing what is right in the eyes of everybody. There's a song we used to sing when we were young. That song says, do your best and leave the rest. Do your best and leave the rest. Everybody know do Alan. Do your best and leave the rest. So everybody here on this platform, do your best and leave the rest for everybody. I really want to thank everybody who has partaken to this program, especially those people that use their magic hand to share and share, and they proved to me they can do double. I was asking for times 2 of the figure that I was watching, and they probably give me times 3 of the figure that is actually watching now. The only thing I will ask for is that, right? We have a GoFundMe page. If you can, please support it. Only if you can. Please, it will be better if you support it so that we don't become a Facebook person only. The people in Nigeria that has no data can actually start listening to us in Nigeria without data. The gentleman that said should call me, please. I'm still expecting your number. If you're still online, please do call and or just inbox me your number, and then we take it from there. The way forward is what we're looking for. The things that will make our life better is what we're looking for. I'm going to go to Mr. Olayomi Koiki quickly because it seems he has some magic for me. Maybe the people in Lagos hear me asking and they actually send what I was asking for. Olayomi Koiki.
And once again, it's Heritage TV, where you can be rest assured that the situation in terms of bringing an emerging of a new nation will definitely come if you continue to also support. Let's take you now to Nigeria once again. We're still Nigeria for the time being. The National Center for Disease Control result have come out, and we do have now another 242 added to what we had yesterday in terms of the figure. We now have a total of 4,641 people that have now confirmed of coronavirus. 902 people have been discharged. We now have 150 people that have died. Let me quickly give us the breakdown to each of the states, because I know we've spent time with so many of our viewers around the world, and people might be tired now. Lagos number seems to be going very high. 1,933 cases in Lagos State, and then next to that is Kano. I'm not sure why the figure in Kano still remains 666. Whether the people that have died previously is no longer something worth to be included with the number that has been released lately. FCT 359, Castina State 205, Borno have got 186, Bauchi has got 182, and I will just leave it to that. But we'll post all that onto Heritage Timeline as well later on tonight, where you'll be able to see the remaining figure. Once again, 4,000, as you can see on the screen, 641. 150 people have died and 902 people have been discharged. I will go back now into the studio.
Thank you, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. The figures is rising on a daily basis. 442 in just 24 hours. The thing I don't understand is there are 442 in 24 hours. If you allocate that one to each state, Mr. Fem Babalola, did you have 442 local government area in Nigeria? Do we have up to 442 local government area?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have what?
274 local government.
274. So if they take every one of these to each local government, they will still take some change, yeah? They need to start thinking that coronavirus is a nighttime thing. It's not a daytime thing. They need to start behaving themselves, and they need to do the needful thing. Lagos, they said 88. Kano, 64. Katsina. The terrible thing is that we have this in fewer states. New cases, 88. Lagos is flying like he said. Okay, I'm going to give this young man that managed to kept him so quiet today, and all he's been doing is been hitting some few goal from the north. His mouth has been rumbling, and that is the person that's gonna give us the last. That's gonna start the rounding up for tonight. Frank Bello, your last word on today's show.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic show. The little string holding Nigeria from disintegrating for the benefit of our viewers. The string is the open. We call string open. And when you tie something to it, let's say you tie a round ball below the string, strong one, then you what you get is a pendulum. So in other words, Nigeria has been sort of suspended as a pendulum. And I thought, but the most terrible event of tonight, if I may recollect, was that breathtaking film that Mr. Koiki gladly screened in Nigeria that detailed those young lads somewhere in Ekiti State, an agricultural produce state. But you see, the problem I developed, or as my stomach was seriously pounding, was the fact that there we had a government who promised they will invest in agriculture, the current government. Now, how come that Mr. Koiki traveled? This was just last year. And they've obviously been in power for 4 years. So, had Mr. Koiki not traveled that extensively to uproot the injustice that's been done to the southern part of Nigeria, that many of the moles are now seeing that they are eating up the people and they continue to feed on those innocent people. Where is the money, the funds? But the same fraudulent government continue to pester IMF, European Union, African Development Bank, and many of the institutions around the world, financial institutions around the world, for help, for fundings in agriculture. What we really need to ask now is, what have they done with those funds that was meant for agriculture? Because I still don't stomach that situation whereby we've got Chinese on our soil in southern Nigeria. I'm not really bothered about the Chinese people being turbaned as emir in the north. That is their headache. But we've got Chinese on our land in southern Nigeria farming, harvesting our cassavas. We've got Indians on our land farming only to export those produce, not for local consumption, but for international consumption. Does that mean the same fundings that was meant to filter down to those farmers, knowing fully well that the roads are equally bad, was being diverted into other areas? Or could that mean the Fulani government in Nigeria, they've deliberately taken that funds away from the local farmers and then pumped that into the hands of both the Chinese and the Indians? This is the gory state of affairs of that little string that is holding the contraption called Location 9 by its balls. It is terrible. And these are the areas we have to address for us to quickly disintegrate Location 9 and then fight for our Oduduwa Republic and for the Biafrans to get their own republic. It is injustice, as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, and I will not relent in my effort to make sure that we realized Ududua Nation. It is not working. This contraption is not working. We need to dissolve Location 9 now and not tomorrow. Now, over to you at the studio.
Thank you very much. I've seen some people have actually read my mind. I wanted to say we only have 111, 112 likes. It was less before, but when I was thinking about it, some people have the same mind like me. Nigerian time and UK time are the same at the moment. So it means Nigeria time is the same time as UK time. Are you actually watching from Nigeria, Alex? Are you watching from Nigeria? Thank you for staying with us. Solar Show, you haven't sent your number in. I asked it to you. Please send your number in. Let's have a chat. I want to thank everyone who has partake in today's program, because without you, there is no us. And if you're not watching, we can't talk and talk. We're tired. If you only have about 10 people watching now, I'm sure we will have been gone by now. I want to thank everyone from Mr. Fem Babala to Mr. Kweki to Mr. Shegun to my brother, my super brother. I call him super brother because he's always been there for me. Well before I know Frank Bello. I only know Frank Bello this morning now. We only met this morning. Yesterday I didn't know you. I only met you today. So I want to thank everyone for sticking by. And our daddy in Nigeria, 80 years old man, a professor that was fighting his PC to make sure his PC works. I think Mr. Fem Babalala wants to say something before we go. I hope his water is not going to disturb his mouth. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you for having me back.
Thank you.
I want to respond to what Mr. Frambello says tonight is that
okay.
Sometimes we put the blame on the federal government of Nigeria on one point, which truly they fail to be able to build a value system that will control the furthering the corruption in Nigeria, because the federal government always announce budget. When they give them budget, the budget go to the state government. Then from the state government, it go to the local government. That's where the embezzlement always come out from. Having said that, let's talk about the Senate and the federal, the Senate and the National Assembly. Those money they collect from the federal constituency, those projects they plan to show what they want to do, they never do it. In each state in Nigeria, and in Nigeria, they don't have no income. They don't have an income. They are given to the federal government so they can be able to support the what is going on in their own federal as well. So having said that, and again, on my own experience, many people that want to contest for governor, even if you want to contest for president, they have what we call a power brokers. Is rather you negotiate with your power broker on 60-40% of what they use to sponsor you, and they must return some money back to the power broker, the carcass, in Nigeria. That is why it's very difficult for them to be able to meet up and support some of the people that to promote their environment, and both in Yoruba and the other part of the federation. So the people that are killing Nigeria today are still the power brokers. I will say it, I'm not afraid it. I will say it, I'm not afraid of them. The power broker are still the one destroying Nigeria, or otherwise they call them a godfatherism, or other way they call them the another name which I cannot be able to mention here as well again. So that is where the problem is. And again, Nigerian people don't ask questions. Nigerian people don't know how to fight for their right, because they oppress them, because they cage them. They use the thugs or the agberos. They use them to cage people. When you talk, for sure they will send them to you, and then either they threaten your family and everybody will keep quiet, and they use religion as well to be able to keep people mouth shut in Nigeria, which is very, very bad. So why I'm bringing my point here today is that the Yoruba people have to be very careful as well, because some of those people that did that in Nigeria today, if by the grace of God, Yoruba get out from Nigeria, for sure, are they not going to practice the same mentality, the same idea, the same criminal heart? So, which we have to be very careful. We know them already, and then we have to fight back, because there's a lot of things I cannot say here, which I have to tell the truth. Like my state, Ekiti State, really. Since when they have found Ekiti State have no single industry. Any Ekiti man that is hearing me today that is not happy with this, so they should go back to their grave. I don't care. A state without industry, and they collect money from federal government. We have many of them like that. Osun State, they could have resources. I don't know, because I'm not from that state. With that, they don't have it. They are not giving back to the federal government. It's only Ogun State and Lagos State and the Delta people that always generate money and give to the federal government, even in the northern part of Nigeria. So which type of country is that? So I believe, and upon that, they still went to the IMF, to the Islamic banks, and borrow money instead of federal government to ban. Nobody can borrow money from IMF, so we can be able to defend our economic and all these things. But they fail to do that, which I will still blame the federal government on that, because they're weak. They are weak, and then they don't care, because they are not a good leader. They are not thinking about good for Nigeria. They don't love Nigeria. If they love Nigeria, for sure, all this thing will not be happening. Even say if you go to the northern part of Nigeria today, you cannot find a lot of industry there. When I was in Kaduna, I live in Banawa Kaswa. Then after that, I live in Kakuru United before I went to Zaria. I remember then there is a Peugeot in Kaduna, a lot of big company there. But today, all of them have gone. So what am I trying to bring here today is that there's no any institution in Nigeria. All the institution is collapsed, and the federal government is already failed. So such government that fail, we cannot attach ourselves with them again and continue living as one. They fail us, and they fail awfully, which they are the most people that rule Nigeria. If you go to their area, you cannot find any infrastructure or industry, which the if you see some of this European Union, they have embassy and they have institution of industry all over the world. It must be a target. It must be what we bring in every year. But Nigeria don't have that. They always have embassy. They have what we call chamber of commerce. After then, there's no institution of industry. Who are those people that be in that charge? We don't have it. So we have big problems. So Nigeria is failed already. Nigeria is finished, because even if we find another president that's coming tomorrow, they say want to rule Nigeria, he can promise everything in this world. At the end of the day, we're still going to have this problem. So I want to try to advise my Yoruba people tonight. They should pick all this thing I'm trying to say now to start working on it, because we still have some of them in Yoruba land. Godfather, or what we call them, power brokers. If you want to contest for Senate, governor, then they have a place they normally go to. They give them the money, they swear oath. Okay, so which all these things have to stop in the Yoruba land before God will help us to get what we want to get. So that's what I would just try to support Mr. Frambelo a little bit there, because I know much about this, because I've been there and I know what I'm talking about. So that is it. And God help that country. God help Nigeria, and God open the door, because we still have people in Nigeria there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Olayemeko Ike, you want to add anything to that, or should we just call it a day?
Well, I'll just say I think a few people wanted to know what time we're back again tomorrow.
I've actually responded to them to say 8 o'clock we're back by the grace of God, even though I'm still trying to fill a couple of space for one space. Engineer Adebayo, are you coming tomorrow? If you are, please inbox me now, please, because I think we mentioned you're coming tomorrow. Or is it tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. I said you're coming tomorrow. So, Engineer Adebayo, if you're coming tomorrow, please let me know straight away. Tomorrow is Oduduwa Day, even though we're still going to speak English, because we haven't get there yet to speak Yoruba alone. We still want more people. We want our brothers. We want the education. What I would say is that we have to rely on the elderly, so we cannot insult them. We have to abide with them. And on Wednesday is the Agbakiwa Oro Agba. On Thursday is the Biafran Day. On Friday is the mixture of the Biafran and everybody and everybody and everybody. And then on Sunday is the Niger Delta. We're getting better, are we not? Right. So, but I still want someone to anchor the Niger Delta. Frank is on Niger Delta, so I'm not expecting him to.
Don't forget about Niger Middle Bench. Don't forget about Niger Middle Bench. Niger Middle Bench.
Alayomi, what should we do to this man called Mr. Femi Babalola? It's because he's senior us. I would have said we should gang up and give him a good beating. But we don't do that in Yoruba land. We don't beat our elderly people. I want to thank every one of you online. I thank the people in the studio, but more especially, I didn't know. Can't you? Okay. For tomorrow, it's okay. I won't do that again. This is what I'm saying to you. We're democratic. We ask for what belongs to us, and you get it. You ask for it, you get it. Yeah. I wanted to say, can't you see that I've put it there already? But thank God you're saying for tomorrow. The one I put there before is the Odudua investment because it was coming up to the anniversary of the death of Obafemi Awolowo. That's why I put that one there because it has his picture. But that's done. That's been celebrated. If you have the time, please find your time to visit www.yorubaworldcongress.com. It's forming. We are not there yet. I'm still building. I'm still working on it. I'm still tickling it. And the Facebook is ready. The website, you're here again. Where did you went to, Deborah? Did you go toilet? Did you wash your hand? Anyway, God bless every one of you online, the people that have been, the people that have come because it's work tomorrow. I really want to say thank you for sticking by us. Engineer, you haven't answered my question. I said, are you here tomorrow? Or maybe you've answered, I haven't checked. You haven't answered. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody online, every one of you, whether you do constructive or you do damaging or you do kalakala or you do kalakuta or you cause commotion or you rain abuses, it doesn't matter. You're still here. You are here because you love us. Frank Bello, what do you have to say? Nothing? Femi Babalola, nothing? Uncle Fatai Okubido, you want to say anything? Okay, I haven't said that tonight. Yeah, are you guys waiting for that tonight? I wrote one. I was giving one this morning, but I didn't forget. I didn't write it down, so it totally escaped my head. Let me just see where I wrote something before today, because sometimes learning all these things goes a long way for us, and the only way we could do things better is to learn from our team. I want to thank you again. Thank you. One agbaki wa loja.
Yes.
Frank is saying something. Yeah. My boss is saying something. Go
Mr.
ahead,
Moderator. Mr. Moderator.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moderator.
Yes, sir.
I like to finish up by quoting one of our speakers. I think this came from Mr. Olayomi Koiki, that if the old generations fought the white man for independence, what stops us from fighting the cabals for our own individual nations of Odudua and Biafra?
You know what chased the people away in the first case? I don't know if any one of you, wow, all these people raining by and by, God bless you all. You know what chased them? Lishabi is the one that chased them up quickly, and everybody wake up and say, yes, it's easy to get rid of these people. Anyway, don't forget the Facebook for Yoruba World Congress is live. Please share, follow, like, go there and like it. And if you have not liked Heritage Multimedia Television page, please, this is your time. Go there, like it. Let me feel your impact. Like I felt your impact with the share button today. Go there, like it, kick it. Let it fly. And I have been seeing your hand on the YouTube page as well. I don't know how you guys are doing it. Let it fly more. Let it fly. So that even if there's a problem on Facebook, which is in case of eventualities, but there will never be any problem because we are not a rule breaker. We don't break the rules. We say the truth. We call a spade in a fashionable way. Guys, thank you. Everyone has made today's show. What do you normally call it, Frank Bello? You normally call it something? You said, when we finished, you said, you call it something. What do you call it again?
I forgot it.
Okay, guys, I want to say a very big thank you to you all. Olayomiko Iki's sisters was that day was just that's the one I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you the flyer. We had a lovely program in the afternoon. We celebrate the sister's birthday, and we surprised her because she wasn't expecting the mom and the family to come from both here and from Nigeria. They actually appear on the screen and wish her a very happy birthday. So if it's a birthday tomorrow, inbox me quickly. Maybe Isha Biagbongo Akala or Laiwala Matthew. Are you from Abiyaguta? How do you know all those secrets? Don't tell all these Ikitianondo boys, mate. Anyway, God bless one of you. May the spirit of your ancestors protect all of you. And may Allah protect you if you believe in Allah. And if you don't believe anything, whatever you believe in only works for you. Good night. Don't have nightmare. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Everybody in London, have you heard that Heritage Television has come up with something new? All your functions and celebrations can now be multi-camera live stream that was only reserved for the rich and famous. Having a function in London can be viewed clean and clear immediately from any part of the world. Trust Heritage TV to give you a better reach. Heritage Television also does photography that will make you the envy of all your friends and family. Heritage Television is the best. All your functions like birthdays, funerals, weddings, church anniversaries or harvest. Heritage Television is the master. We are in the heart of London with an ultra-modern equipped studio. You can call us on 020-800-46100 or email us info@heritagetv.co.uk or mobile 0734 1234 560. Heritage Television will do you proud.